The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The cleanup begins in the aftermath of Imelda. Government and private companies busy pumping water out of communities. The DRM says work is underway to deal with flooding and assist residents. And the U.S. points to poor anti-corruption enforcement in the Bahamas. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesa Dean will be here. Also this morning, we will talk with CIBC about their Walk for the Cure event. And in business, more on what the U.S. is saying about corruption and challenges facing investors and problems obtaining clear title to property in the Bahamas. We'll get to all of that in our 9 o'clock hour. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, residents on New Providence still trying to pick up the pieces and bail water out of their homes after Imelda exited the Bahamas. The storm moved through the islands as a tropical storm and dumped over 6 inches of rain on New Providence between Sunday night and Monday morning. Cleanup efforts began on Monday with residents bailing water out of their homes, tow trucks heaving vehicles from flooded areas, and industrial trucks pumping water from areas like Pinewood Gardens, Gamble Heights, Fox Hill, Bel Air Estates, Propal Tract, and some communities off Carmichael Road. Residents in western New Providence, particularly the West Grove and Saunders Beach, said their power was turned off after 10 a.m. Monday and remained off because some houses were flooded. Images on social media showed the lake water at Propal Tract overflowing into residential St. Albans Drive communities. Imelda not only impacted western New Providence, but residents, but business owners as well. Some stores in the Saunders Beach Plaza said they experienced a loss of revenue since power was cut from the shopping center. Meanwhile, BPL warning residents of the outage for the safety of those houses that remain submerged. However, once pump and drainage efforts are resolved, the company says power is expected to be restored. And during a final press briefing on Imelda, which passed through the Bahamas over the weekend and the beginning of the week, Minister of State for Responsibility for Disaster Risk Management, Leon Lundy, said the country fared well. He credited the lack of serious impacts to adequate preparation and coordination. In its 2025 Bahamas Investment Climate Statement, the U.S. State Department raising concerns about corruption and a lack of enacted transparency legislation. A statement saying, quote, while anti-corruption laws exist in the Bahamas, enforcement against public officials has been inconsistent and full implementation of key accountability measures has faced delays. The statement noted that the government has proposed amendments to good governance laws, but that several key reforms have stalled, including the Freedom of Information Act, which passed in 2017 but has yet to be fully implemented. It also pointed to the ombudsman legislation that's been passed but has not yet been operationalized. And it says that legislation to establish an integrity commission and implement campaign finance reform remains pending, saying that campaign financing in the Bahamas remains largely unregulated, lacking sufficient safeguards against quid pro quo donations and foreign influence. And it says that NGOs investigating corruption have no specific legal protections, further inhibiting civic oversight. A man jailed for forcing a woman into bushes and raping her twice is seeking to have his convictions overturned. 28-year-old Christopher Forbes was last year sentenced to 25 years in prison for 2 counts of rape, along with a concurrent sentence of 15 years for robbery with violence. Appearing before Justices of Appeal Milton Evans, Gregory Smith, and Bernard Turner via video link, Forbes said, quote, there is no significant evidence to prove that there was a rape or robbery. Evans, the court's president, told Forbes that the panel was not prepared to hear arguments since the appeal was not properly filed. Asked if he had a lawyer, Forbes said that he could represent himself, but he claimed he needed a cell phone to prepare. Evans noted that there was no power for the court to order the prison to give him access to a cell phone. Forbes eventually agreed to accept a court-appointed lawyer to assist him. He will learn who that lawyer will be on October 7th. Forbes' conviction stems from an incident that took place in southern New Providence on May 6, 2022. The victim was on her morning walk on a main road when Forbes, who was armed with a cutlass, grabbed her arm and dragged her into the bushes. Forbes raped the woman twice and took cell phones and Apple AirPods from her. Forbes, who represented himself at trial, claimed that the sex was consensual and that he did not rob the woman because he was not holding the cutlass when he took her belongings. Overseas, rescuers using backhoes and sniffer dogs to look for survivors in collapsed houses and other damaged buildings in the central Philippines today, a day after an earthquake killed at least 69 people. The death toll expected to rise from the magnitude 6.9 earthquake that hit at around 10 p.m. Tuesday and trapped an unspecified number of residents in the hard-hit city of Bogo and outlying rural towns of Cebu province. Sporadic rain and damaged bridges and roads have hampered the race to save lives. The epicenter of the quake, which was set off by movement in an undersea fault line at a dangerously shallow depth of 3 miles, was about 12 miles northeast of Bogo, a coastal city of about 90,000 people in Cebu province, where about half the deaths were reported. The Philippine government is considering whether to seek help from foreign governments based on an ongoing rapid damage assessment. Israel pressing its offensive in Gaza, with at least 16 Palestinians reported killed today across the Strip as the world awaited Hamas's response to U.S. President Donald Trump's peace plan for the embattled territory. The dead, including people who had sought refuge in a school sheltering the displaced in Gaza City. Al-Falah School in the city's eastern Zaytun neighborhood was hit twice, minutes apart, according to hospital officials. Among the casualties were first responders. 5 Palestinians were killed later on Wednesday morning when a strike hit people gathered around a drinking water tank on the western side of Gaza City. Also in Gaza City, the Shifa hospital said it received the body of a man killed in a strike on his apartment west of the city. And recent U.S. escalations in the Caribbean are a result of Secretary of State Marco Rubio's, quote, personal agenda against the region. That's according to Cuba's top diplomat, who says that his American counterpart is increasingly pushing policies that do not align with U.S. President Donald Trump's so-called mandate for peace. Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez Parrilla telling the Associated Press that Cuba saw a possibility of changing the long-standing antagonistic dynamic between the United States and the communist-run island when Trump returned to office in January, but says that Rubio, who was born to Cuban immigrants, has made it his mission for Washington to adopt an even stronger maximum pressure campaign against Havana. The State Department did not respond to requests for comment from the Associated Press. Rubio and U.S. officials have defended their aggressive stance against Cuba, accusing its leaders of running a dictatorship. And the outer bands of distant Hurricane Umberto lashing Bermuda ahead of a more direct pass from the newer and stronger now Hurricane Imelda. Umberto was passing well north of the island in the North Atlantic Tuesday, but wind gusts and some rain were forecast into today, Wednesday. Imelda had maximum sustained winds of about 85 miles per hour late Tuesday, and its center was expected to be near the island by Wednesday evening. A hurricane warning for Bermuda in effect ahead of Imelda, which was expected to strengthen into a Category 2 hurricane, according to the Bermuda Weather Service. And U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, in an address Tuesday to the U.S.'s military's top leaders, telling hundreds of commanders at a hastily called gathering in Virginia that there would be new directives to ensure that the requirement for every position in combat, quote, returns to the highest male standard. He said that, quote, if that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it, while stressing that the military will continue to welcome women into its ranks. Hegseth saying, quote, I don't want my son serving alongside troops who are out of shape or in combat units with females who can't meet the same combat arms physical standards as men. This job is life and death. Standards must be met. The remarks rekindling criticism of the defense secretary that arose after U.S. President Donald Trump nominated him to the post last year and renewed concerns about his approach to women in leadership and frontline roles. Hegseth's house cleaning at the top ranks of the military has included a disproportionate number of women, including an admiral and vice admiral in the Navy and the commandant of the U.S. Coast Guard. Several prominent women who are combat veterans pushing back on Hegseth's remarks, emphasizing that women who serve in combat roles already are subjected to the same standards as men. Those standards apply to specific combat special operations, infantry, armor, pararescue, and other jobs regardless of age or gender. In sports, the Bahamas found itself in a must-win situation after dropping the first two games of the Under-23 Pan American Championships in Panama after falling to Puerto Rico 9-1 on Sunday and the U.S. Virgin Islands 7-2 on Monday. Team Bahamas responded with a 7-3 win over Aruba on Tuesday. They will have a day off on Wednesday before taking on Cuba in their final group stage game Thursday. The game on Thursday is also a must-win in order to advance to the semifinals. Cuba is undefeated through two games in the tournament. Bahamas proving that game is never over until the final strike as they erupted for 5 runs in the final inning against Aruba. Come from behind 7-3 on Tuesday. The Nassau Flight Services Ballers entering the 2025 Bahamas Government Departmental Basketball Association Finals, aiming to avoid a repeat of last year's championship series, where they were swept 4-0 by the Police Crime Stoppers. The team stepped up and took Game 3 of the best-of-7 championship series, 88-85 Monday night at the AF Adderley Gym. The Crime Stoppers, the defending champions, still lead the series 2-1. And from the NBA, Bahamian players, DeAndre Ayton and Giovanna Buddy Hield, and another player with Bahamian roots, Klay Thompson, all optimistic on Media Day with their respective teams heading into the 2025-26 NBA regular season. Ayton, who's entering his first season with the LA Lakers, has a lot riding on this year with the team. Bahamian big man was bought out by his previous team, the Portland Trail Blazers, and is now looking forward to a fresh start in the purple and gold uniform. Despite averaging a double-double last season with the Trailblazers, he's faced criticism regarding his motor and consistency in the new role. You can read about what they're saying in today's Guardian Sports section. From Major League Baseball, once again, Shohei Ohtani struck early in the postseason for the Los Angeles Dodgers. In his playoff debut a year ago, Ohtani hit a tying 3-run homer in the second inning of the NL Division Series against San Diego. LA rallied for a 7-5 victory and went on to beat the New York Yankees in the World Series. This year, he got busy even quicker, Ohtani hitting a leadoff homer in the first inning and a 2-run drive in the sixth as the Dodgers went deep 5 times Tuesday night for a 10-5 win over the Cincinnati Reds in Game 1 of their National League Wild Card Series. And the Boston Red Sox getting a win over the New York Yankees, 3-1 in their playoff opener. In their American League Wild Card Series opener. From the WNBA, Aja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces are looking to accomplish something only done once before by winning a third WNBA championship in 4 seasons. Standing in the way of the Phoenix Mercury, though, who are making their first championship appearance since 2021. The WNBA Finals will begin Friday in Las Vegas between the 2nd seed Aces and number 4 seed Mercury. This year, for the first time, the 2 teams will play in a best-of-7 format as the league expanded its championship round from a 5-game series. And from football or soccer, not even half of the spots in the 48-team field have been claimed, but the schedule of matches won't be finalized until December. And other than host nations U.S., Canada, and Mexico, nobody has any idea where or when they'll be playing, but millions of soccer fans worldwide don't seem to mind. Tickets to next year's FIFA World Cup officially go on sale today. The buyers will be those who were selected out of 4.5 million applicants in a lottery that took place last month. To have the first formal chance to purchase tickets over the next few days, FIFA says lottery winners have been or will soon be informed by email. There are some unique questions for consumers heading into the tournament, though, especially about getting visas, if necessary, to visit the U.S. as the country cracks down on immigration. And there are some concerns about who, when, and where. And nobody knows the answer until the draw on December 5th. So we'll keep you posted. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. First look at weather brought to you by Star General. Here's what's happening today. We've got low-level troughing trailing from Hurricane Imelda. That's going to produce a few isolated showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, mainly over the northern and southeastern Bahamas. Meanwhile, hazardous boating and beaching conditions will continue across the country. By tomorrow, troughing over the area is expected to increase shower activity. Through to the end of the week, strong high pressure is expected to build across the country on the weekend, supporting Moderate to fresh breezes over most of the area, while gentle winds remain in the southern island. Streaming moisture will keep showers in the forecast throughout the weekend, and persistent swells from hurricanes Umberto and Imelda will continue to produce hazardous and elevated seas for the next few days, straight through the weekend. So beachgoers are still advised not to enter Atlantic waters in the northern and northwest Bahamas and should exercise caution along Atlantic shorelines across the rest of the country due to swells. Your forecast for today for most areas, partly sunny, becoming cloudy this afternoon. We've got a 20 to 30% chance of isolated showers and thunderstorms, increasing to 30 to 40% tonight for the northern and northwest Bahamas. Winds north to northeast at 10 to 15 knots, falling to 10 knots or less by this afternoon for the northern and northwest Bahamas. West to northwest at 10 to 15 knots, falling to 10 knots or less tonight for the central islands. And southwesterly to west at 10 to 15 knots, falling to less than 10 knots tonight for the southeastern Bahamas. Temperatures today look for highs around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, with the heat index making it feel like it's as high as 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 78, 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and another look at the tropics in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up.
You are listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
Start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way? Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
The Paint Depot for interior and exterior paint, material and supplies, automotive, marine and industrial, Rust-Oleum, color wheel, joint compounds, sealers, and much more. We are your distributor for automotive art colors. We have pressure washers, ladder rentals, and accessories. Select any color and we'll mix it and deliver it. And orders are welcome with bank transfers. Get your free quote today. Free delivery to the mailboats, homes, and businesses, too. The Paint Depot, number 151 Mount Royal Avenue. Open Monday to Saturday, 7:30 to 5. The Paint Depot. We supply all your painting needs.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Southwest Plaza has so many stores, I've been trying to find a sensible way to list them all. There's CBS Bahamas, the Ashai Institute, BENC Snack World, Bamboo Shack Bahamas. They're the Athlete's Foot and BTC, Games and More, John Bull Fine Threads, Alive, Bahari, Dairy Queen, 700 Wines and Spirits, Sandy's Clocks and Island Lock, Starbucks and Lowe's Pharmacy, plus Marco's Pizza and Lorraine. Plaza, what a wide array of stores. Southwest Plaza, stop by today and explore.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
'Tis the season for dreams to come true. There's Santa for the kids and CIBC Caribbean for you. Whether it's a house, land, vehicle, or upgrading your home, CIBC Caribbean can support your dreams with the financing you need. Enjoy incredible cashback deals with mortgages and land loans. Plus, your approved loan gives you a chance to win up to US $5,000. Apply now at www.cibccaribbean.com/sweeten the season. Terms and conditions apply.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Your solution for rising gas prices and expensive car maintenance has landed. Brand new 2026 electric vehicles from BYD have arrived at Easy Car Sales. Imagine no more gas and major savings on maintenance. Test drive a BYD EV today and save thousands with the car that redefines driving. Visit easy242.com for our 3 locations, in-house financing, and more. Easy Car Sales, the only authorized BYD dealer and warranty provider in the Bahamas.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. With CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow, Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Or you can text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. That's 422-GR96. Standard text rates apply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, back home, world traveler.
That's it right there.
Duquesa Dean, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Bahamas.
We've missed you.
I've missed you too. I've missed you guys.
You had a great vacation.
I had a phenomenal vacation. Thank you.
Stuff. Good to have you back, though. Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Can you tell me where you've been?
Yeah, so I went to Dubai.
Oh.
It was a dual trip. It was to celebrate a friend's 50th birthday while at the same time finally getting to have our honeymoon 5 years later.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we got married February 20th, and in a few days, the world was already starting to shut down, but then Bahamas shut down. Honeymoon got canceled.
Oh.
We got refunded. Mm-hmm. After that, I had my little cancer battle, cancer surgery, prevention surgery. Mm-hmm. And then life just was life-in. So it's been a number of years. Yeah. It took some time for us to kind of rebuild. Because during COVID, even both of our businesses were closed. And so thank God we had a little nest egg to keep us going. So over the last 5 years, we've been busy just rebuilding, refocusing. And when this opportunity came up, well, we had a honeymoon.
Well, finally.
Yeah.
And congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you had a wonderful trip.
Yeah, we had a
Dubai. I got to be like you when I grow up.
I know you're already like me, Dwight. Stop it. You travel more than me.
What? No. I wish that was the case. Let's speak that into existence. But thank you for being being you and being back with us. Great
I'm
to have
happy
you.
to be here.
All right, so we got a lot going on. The cleanup continues with Imelda. We're going to be talking about that a lot this morning. Big headline in the NASA Guardian too. We're going to get to that in business. But coming up before that, we're going to talk with CIBC about Walk for the Cure. Get all the details about that this morning. So a lot to get to on this Wednesday. Let's begin now, though, with what else is in the news. And in the news, as we said, we're going to talk about this in our business hour, 9 o'clock business hour, but just want to read the headlines for you. U.S. points to poor anti-corruption enforcement in its 2025 Bahamas Investment Climate Statement from the U.S. State Department, right? Report noting that good governance reforms have stalled, especially freedom of information, ombudsman, all those things we were talking about just a few days ago with Org Bahamas. And the U.S. has noted that, and it's also saying that investors are facing numerous challenges here with delays in the approvals process, and that there are, of course, as Bahamians have been saying this for decades, problems obtaining clear title to property in the Bahamas. Again, this is their statement to people who are looking at investing in the Bahamas. This is what advise their residents to know. But these are things that we experience and know very well.
Very well.
All the time. We don't need anybody to tell us that. They're not trying to tell us about it. They're just telling their people about it. And what's going to happen? Is anything going to change? But we'll talk about that in a bit. We are still recovering from Imelda, which is now a hurricane, and our friends in Bermuda are very concerned about them. They've dealt with Umberto, not far from them, and now Imelda, which it looks like it's going to go directly towards them and could be a Category 2 by the time it gets there. And wow. And if it's anything like what we experienced.
I just wanted to say that.
As it was just
we just had a storm.
A tropical storm and a depression.
Right.
Good Lord, right? But we do know the storms have a lot of water. And so, I don't know. Boy, it have been worse, but this is pretty bad. Pretty bad. So we've got a number of stories on what people were experiencing yesterday, and as you see, there's more rain coming, and so the water that is will likely return if more rain is coming. And in some areas, the water's not going anywhere. Right, still there. Areas in western New Providence, Prince Charles Drive out east looks like the sea has reclaimed.
Though.
It's the
land. It's really dangerous too, though, with that type of water just settled there, right? It's a breeding ground for mosquitoes or
so many things,
all sorts of things. So, but aren't they pumping water?
In many areas, yeah. Okay. But in some areas it hasn't started yet, or I don't know if they will. I don't know what's going on. But we got a couple stories from our Vonique Tut, who's been all over. Covering what's happening here. And we'll begin with what's happening in notorious Pinewood Gardens, right? We know that's always a problem. Take a listen to what people are experiencing.
The struggle continues for residents of Nassau Village and Pinewood Gardens, which were extensively flooded during the passage of Tropical Storm Imelda. One day later, many streets remain some motorists to turn around. School administrator for Randolph O'Delaveau Academy, Melinda Gibson, says the preschool was flooded with inches of water nearly knee deep, forcing them to close the school until Thursday.
Well, yesterday when I came, it was above my knee. I had to borrow my neighbor's water boots. I parked my car down the road. And I came in here, and this is what I met. It's going down a little bit, but this is what happens. We have to close school and do our best to clean it up.
Bishop Randolph Delaveau says he feels for residents who invested so much into their homes only to enjoy flooding following heavy rainfall.
I did not know that it was so bad until I drove through here yesterday just to see what it was like. and to see all of the houses had must be about 6 inches of water inside, and I would have thought that the government would say to the people who build these houses in this area, you all do something with those people's house. Because God knows, for you to know, these people are going through this every year. And the thing about it, it is not like they could lift up their house and move to go somewhere else.
To make matters worse, he says some motorists are speeding along flooded streets.
But some people, without consideration, speeding through all this water and flash water through my truck window. I mean, water over the people's car's hood, and they don't have the sense to slow down and say, well, my car may cut off in all this water. And I can't understand it, but some people just don't think.
In nearby Nassau Village, Mr. Williamson says water rose up to his doorstep.
Yes, it was really bad. Water was up to my doorstep. I saw my mama fall once. That was yesterday. He arrived through the truck and asked if anyone needed to be evacuated. I never see it. That's the first time in my life seeing it. So if I was to see him again, I probably wouldn't even know who he was.
He says the flooding hasn't been this bad in years.
What about your home? Did the water get into your house? No. But you had issues getting in and out of your yard yesterday?
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonnie Toot.
Wow, heartbreaking. Sounds terrible. Right?
Wow. Yeah. And every time a car passes through, the water just keeps moving into
yeah. And as one of the people in the story said, it doesn't seem like people are thinking. It's worse than thinking.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
And this is tough. Very
so
tough.
I have a question. In a situation like that, or under what conditions can like a class action suit be brought? Like, I mean, like this was a problem from time in terms of that particular area flooding. Like, what type of recourse do the homeowners have? And to say none is just sad.
I don't know. It's been so many years now. I don't know. When Chester was on, there have been so many plans, each administration has had engineers or somebody come and do an assessment and say, this is what we will do, but we never get around to it. And here we are still in the same situation, which makes no sense at all. I don't know, but there are other areas that...
Heartbreaking, though, and it must be very painstaking to clean inside your house after you've had a situation like that.
Sure. I'm sure it's terrible. And again, that was an organized development, a subdivision.
Right.
But there are people who don't live in organized subdivisions and developments that flood every time it rains as well. And it doesn't seem like anybody's doing anything.
What's the root of it? Is it because all of the trees are being removed? Is it because it has? I'm sure there have been environmental studies.
I'm sure it's everything. It's our construction practices. It's what we've done with the environment.
But can we stop then?
But
I mean, it's not a question for you to answer, right? But I mean, can we stop?
But stopping won't change it. It won't fix it, right? So why can't anything be done to fix it?
Right.
So if that will require parks to be something, but do something. Say something. It can't be like this every few months for some people or once a year for everybody, right? It just can't continue indefinitely like this.
For them, it can't continue. And for anybody new, it shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Right? So... Something definitely has to be
You just
done.
can't throw your hands up and say, well, that's how it always is right here now.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time. Every year, this is
basically, because you have a major rainstorm. It may not be a depression or anything like that, but you have heavy rain.
All the time.
And then also like with people... Stop driving if you don't live in that area, if you don't need to be in those areas. Have consideration to the hardship that people are already enduring, because every time you go through that friction causes the water to move in. They're trying to clean. Let's just have a heart, buddy. Have a heart.
Yes. Indeed. I mean, you might as well talk to that door. I don't think it's going to change anything. You think I was going to say, "Well, I never thought about that before." He kicks all the water, pushes it all into there.
I don't think they think.
Wow. Yeah. Thanks, Duquesa. No. It's
You're
not
welcome. You're welcome.
It's not. They're like,
I hope that seed is planted.
this is me using my note as a boat, and I'm having the time of my life.
Stop it. How about that?
Yeah. I wish it worked like that.
I wish it was as easy as
keeping
that.
my fingers
right?
crossed that someone say
Yeah.
I was wrong. Boy. So we'll get to what's happening in Western New Providence, Coral Harbor area, because we saw that yesterday with the traffic. You could see it on our traffic bulletin, how bad the backup is because of the flooding on Coral Harbor Road. We'll get to that in a bit. But let's take some calls on what you heard so far. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Somebody the other day was talking about how people are splashing people up walking. They don't
That's
care
crazy.
at all.
Like, don't you see the
They don't
person
care.
there?
I think it's funny. Caller, what say you? Good morning, you're on the air.
Morning, Dwight. How you all doing, man?
Doing well.
Very good. Shall I say, solutions to many of our water problem. But Dwight, over the years, I've noticed, and the ministry really needs to listen to me. I've seen roads. If you live certain roads, Dwight, you will not have this major problem, like on East Street, certain areas. I've been traveling to areas for 10, 15 years. And you know what they do, Dwight? They know that part need the lift, right? But they would tar the road the same level. I don't know who in the ministry examined the road. Say, guess what, guys? Last week, if the road was low and it's flooded, but if you bring another two inches up, it'll be less problem. Maybe a little water, but it won't be flooded. I mean, someone got to be working in the ministry. Like me and you are citizens, man. We should be. We see the problems, you know. So why someone can't see the same thing with me and you who are not being paid to see? I mean, it's very frustrating, Dwight. I tell you, in certain places now, so if we just raise the road up a couple inches or whatever, I mean, it'll make a big difference. Even through St. Albans Drive here now, what do you call it? Not Pine. The other place. Anyhow, you have St. Albans Drive, and then you have the other place next door to St. Albans, right? Right. Now, Paul Track. Now, Paul Track is a whole new ball game. They may have to put one 10-inch pipe in the ground and send it over to the sea. But St. Albans Drive alone, the road is too low. If we brought the road up a little higher, trust me, yeah, you'll have a little flooding, but the cars will be able to maneuver. But where's the people in the ministry? I wish I was working for them.
I mean, I don't know if it's as simple as that, right?
No,
so
seriously, Dwight, I've seen the roads are too low in some cases.
yeah,
And
well, the road might be low,
Yeah.
but then when you raise it up, you're going to flood the people's yards,
but
though.
Dwight, okay, I give you an example. Mr. Mario Boleg, very, very nice, good issue where my mother-in-law lives, right? And this particular road, all I said to him, I said, boy, Mario, guess what? Raise it up a little bit. And then guess what? When he did that, yeah, you might have some flooding, but the cars will be able to go through. I witnessed that myself. He's one
Okay,
of the
but
ministers
what
I
about-
know who would listen. So I'm telling you,
And
things
that's-
that we need to check out, but the experts, the engineers need to go around, get out of those desks.
Well, the engineers, right? Because
Yeah, man,
just
but
raising the
what-
road,
what are they doing?
while just raising the road will allow cars to make it through. That could cause some major flooding for the businesses and the homes, and so that won't necessarily solve the problem. It could make
And-
some things worse. But engineers can tell you the solutions.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
say, well, we can
Right.
do this and put it on
Here
a
are some-
diagonal or
right,
something.
here are the
I don't
things we can
know.
do. But I don't know if you've ever worked at an organization where you have given all of these ideas and suggestions, and your power stops there. It's not like you could, enact them or whatever. So it takes a little bit more than.
I'm sure at every ministry or department in this country, there's stacks
Right.
and stacks and stacks.
And I'm sure there are
of
many
ideas
frustrated
and
employees as well.
Yeah,
so,
all over, gathering
Yes.
dust
Right. The solutions might very well be right there.
from decades ago.
Yeah.
I'm sure. But yeah, engineers would know what to do, right? Whether
Yeah.
you need more canals, we know that's what they do in other places to mitigate flooding. I don't know how that would work around here.
Figure
But
something
there
out.
are things that need to be done. It's not as simple as raising the road. That can create lots of issues. But wow. We got to do something. Something. We need to do something. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight, and welcome back to Quessa.
Good morning. Thank you.
Dwight, all I can say to you is simply this. All of these thoughts have been spoken to for quite some time now, and as the previous caller would have alluded to, but didn't go all the way with his statement, or it may have been you. A lot of these ideas are already in these ministries. They don't listen to the ordinary people like you and me. The ideas are there. Right now, as it stands, a lot of persons now have been speaking about the possibility of lift stations to automatically, when the water reaches a certain level, the pumps will kick in and start to pump the water out. Yes, in some instances, wherever you plan to pump the water out to, if it goes to the coastline, for instance, the coastline may have been, the water may have, at that point, may have swollen. So it means that the water is just trapped in the pipe and the water has nowhere to go. But all these things, a study can be done to find how can we do these things.
Yeah.
Same thing with Pinewood Gardens. That's another sore point. I've noticed in the back, Lumumba Lane now in Seabreeze, in the back there now is flooded. And, the big bowl, what I call the big bowl, is that part right almost outside, but not too far from Sapodilla. You go down on that side there, and always in that bowl, when you have a heavy downpour, there are always floods. It's in a dangerous curve that brings you from Nesbitt round that curve towards Sapodilla. It always floods.
Yeah.
I mean, where are our specialists in these areas? Like I said, I am pretty sure that these ideas have already been expressed and sitting in there, but it seems to be no action. I mean, let's have a town hall meeting on these things. Let the people bring their ideas, and let's see how best we all can put our heads together and solve some of these issues.
Yeah,
I do think we're not going anywhere.
I don't go yet, though, Jeff. I want to ask you something, but I do think it's going to be tough. I do think some people are going to have to move out of their homes, and some streets may have to be flooded, and like permanently. Is going to require a lot of drastic and expensive action, probably. But something has to be done. Something has to be. It's expensive having to get flood water out of your house every year. All right,
let's carry this to another level, then, Dwight. For those places known to flood, perhaps now we have the ministries now or the government now talking about building 2,000, 3,000 homes or whatever. Give these people an alternative. If those areas are going to flood out, find some type of incentive, use the people that they would want to leave those areas and go into somewhere nice and reclaim the land as part of the initiative. But something has to be done. To see your stuff being damaged on a consistent, continuous basis, I mean, after a while, it becomes very disheartening. And I'm pretty sure a lot of persons feel the way how I'm expressing this.
Yeah.
You work so hard for your stuff and see your stuff just destroyed by floods over and over and over again. No, man.
It's terrible.
Pinewood Gardens, my heart goes out to them every time it rains.
All right, got to ask you this, Jeff. Somebody's texting, and I know you were a big part of them at some point, but lots of stuff circulating yesterday about a new DNA party. What do you know? What can you tell us? What's going on there?
Well, Dwight, I would be proud to say at this juncture that, a lot of persons already, and I've seen commentary online and everything saying that, well, you guys disappeared after the last election, and you tend to do it all the time, XYZ. They have to understand that whereas sometimes that may be the case, it doesn't mean that the persons have lost interest in what the party truly stood for. There are many Bahamians who are dissatisfied with the level or lack of consideration in all of these political parties. To be honest with you, the DNA has decided, and I can say this without hesitation, the group that's in there that have claimed to be staunch Democratic National Alliance members, despite the fact that they may have disappeared off the field for a while, but the party still, to a certain extent, the membership of the party is still very, very vibrant. It is kind of interesting to see that once that word went out, how many persons who were part of the DNA actually decided to call in and pledge their support to help to rebuild a new DNA. And I'm going to put it like that because the hierarchy of the former DNAs are no longer there. But the younger crew who were DNAs, who are still DNAs, have decided that they are going to restart this party, and because they are very dissatisfied with the 35 years of inconsistency of government looking out for Bahamians. And we really do believe that the time has come, especially with the young people, if they see what's really going on in this country, and there's really, to be honest, no future.
So
No
you're
future for them here.
still a member of the party? Do you have a specific role in the party?
They have asked me to well, I have still considered myself a Democratic National Alliance, even though it went dormant, because like the season and everything about the party. You know, I fought under all of the administrations of the DNA to bring some sort of representation. I have not lost faith in the party. And I believe that the party can, if it can get the right combination of persons in there, especially who cares about the country, cares about this serious immigration problem we're having, cares about all of the other social ills that we have. It is possible if the Bahamian people would change their minds and at least have an open mind and open heart to accept what people are trying to do in this country outside of the two major political parties, then perhaps, you know, you might have a chance.
Is there a leader right now of this new DNA?
Say again?
Is there a leader right now, or who's running the party?
The current leader right now would be the person of Mr. Stephen Nesbitt, who was the last leader's deputy leader. He is interim. There's talks about bringing about a convention, but they're trying to regroup and trying to get a lot of the old members back into the caucus so they can go to convention. But I just want to close with people who are putting themselves forward, even if it is a party that was once here or even a new party that has been formed. Under the Constitution, there is no need. There is no need to say that with all these third and fourth parties, it's only splitting votes. Listen, we believe in miracles. I know God does do miracles, and anything is possible. Whereas we have a total change in regime where we bring some newness and start to move this country back towards the true prosperity.
All right, really quickly.
There's
one final question. There's a photo going around. I don't believe it. There's a photo going around with a bunch of former FNM MPs. And the pictures. Well, the captions claiming that this is the new DNA. Is that accurate?
No, sir.
Okay, I thought not.
Sir. I can tell you unequivocally.
You've seen it, right?
I've seen it, but it is not so.
That is not true, yeah.
It is not so.
Okay.
And, you have, Dwight, in closing, you have persons who are very mischievous like that who will try to create these narratives to try and take away from what the party is trying to do. I'm going to tell you, just stay tuned. The questions, like the members of the new DNA, their minds are open and they're willing to answer any questions. Or facilitate anything that the public would want to see that the DNA can bring about. But that's all I'm going to say on that. I hope I didn't preempt the interim leader, but, there's more to come.
Okay, all right. Jeff, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. So there you have it. There you have it. Well. Let's take some more calls. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Cousin Dwight.
Good morning.
And good morning, Nana. Welcome back.
Good morning. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Old Pinewood. Where is the fellow who's make them songs? He need to make one song for Pinewood, man. Because ever since Mr. Peachtree, the original owner for Pinewood, sold Pinewood to the Arawak group from way back whence. And I can basically tell you what happened because we used to go in the back there to pick top for our grandmothers so they could make straw baskets and stuff like that. And the shale rock, what used to be in Pinewood, was very high. Pinewood never was that bad. But ever since a group got in the back there, they dug out all of the shale rock and a lot of the limestone out there. Thus, you have the Pinewood that you have today. And I agree with the question, Nana, that the homeowners in the back, they need to get together and see whatever recourse of action they can take, because that is criminal, what happened to those people in the back there. You understand me? Now, to the credit of the Progressive Liberal Party and the Coalition of Independence, the Progressive Liberal Party had the Army Corps of Engineers to do a study of Pinewood. They told them they could have fixed it to the tune of, I think it was 300,000, some kind of million or thousand. They told them they
Sure,
could
it's not
fix it.
1,000. It's
Yeah,
gotta
but
be
it became it became willpower or a sleight of hand, but we could fix this or I don't worry about them people.
I bet it's in the billions now. We would be in the billions now.
Yes, the COI also did a walkabout with the Army Corps of and that they, well, I guess they ain't had a chance of getting power yet to see what they could do. Now, Jeff, I hear Jeff talking about the DNA. Trust me, the election coming up and the ruling parties would do anything right now to stave off oncomers and onlookers. So they would help to resurrect the DNA because they know a lot of old DNAs like myself probably gravitating towards the new coming parties because we ain't want nothing to do with the FNM or the PLP. So be careful of the sleight of hand, Jeff, and y'all. Right now, if it was me, Nana Boy, I would leave the DNA out this election. I wouldn't look at them yet because what it's designed to do is to split votes. As a matter of fact, that was the initial design, to split votes of the DNA. That's why that didn't make it. Any further questions, Your Honor?
Well, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Okay, have a good one. All right. One more call, and then I do want to get to what's happening with Coral Harbor Road. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Hi, are you there?
Hey, Dwight, the question I had to call in after Nana Boy. Let me just think categorically. The aim of the new Democratic National Alliance is not to contest this current election period. We are preparing.
Oh.
Okay?
Oh.
We are just regrouping because we realize the election can be called at any time to go and field all of these candidates to even try stand a chance. It's not going to happen. We are trying to rebrand this party, get the strength up, and then perhaps come to advance ourselves to the 2031 election.
Oh,
we are just
boy.
regrouping and trying to strengthen the party.
Well, that's quite interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff. It's odd.
For the next.
That's very odd. Yeah. I mean, maybe you don't need a full slate for the upcoming general election. But
I kind of like the idea of taking time to regroup, plan it out properly, still do some legwork in the meantime, but not being rushed.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
Welcome back. You know, Dwight, when you look at this flooding area, firstly, before you even think about a mechanism to mitigate this, the government needs to decide exactly what are we going to do with the water. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. Secondly, we have to look at our environment. Water can only flow if there is no particles in the water to block it from flowing. Look at how we dispose of solid waste, old furniture, everything. It's all over the place. So before we can get to do anything, we've got to clean this island up, remove all of these derelict stuff that would act as an impediment to what you're really trying to do. If the government decide now that, look, we're going to put in reservoirs, whereas we can preserve this water and use it for future things like like other countries do, who has flooding issues, but it's going to be a very, 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 very expensive exercise. I don't know whether or not we're going to allow homeowners to install these things, these reservoirs, or whether we're going to pump it out to the sea, however you want to do it, but we got to have a clear passage. Nothing can work the debate when you look at it on how filthy the islands are.
Yeah, I definitely don't think you want to pump this out to the sea. No, that would be a disaster.
That's one option.
Yeah.
That's one option. The next option is each home can we can put in reservoirs where we containerize the water and use it for future reference, watering lawn or etc., whatever you want to do. But the water is going to see the Bahamas. Right, growing up, when we were growing up as kids, We never had this type of flooding. We never had it. But then when you look at how this government and our colonial masters had this thing for about 300 years, but we never had this type of flooding. They never had this type of flooding. But the government allowed these so-called investors, local and foreign alike, to do extensive cutting down of our hills and stuff. Right now, Nassau, for example, it's just one flat vacuum, open space. The water's going to drop on the ground. Prior to that, we had hills where this water could have been separate, so to speak. But if you have a high hill, water's reading up on top of that hill, chances are absorbed. But where is this water going to be absorbed when you look at how we reconstruct the island? We cut down basically every tree, every hill, fill, etc., and we've destroyed it. Now we've got to look at a very expensive exercise. This thing is not no rocket science, Dwight. You're just talking about fluid conveying, moving water from point A to point B.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's the purpose for them dressing up in all these water boots and raincoat and everyone going into the water. You see this stuff? Every politician standing up in water and dirty water. I don't know if someone told them plenty votes were in those water or what, but that's where they are. But we could correct this problem, but it's going to be very, very, very expensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know where we get it now. In respect, Dwight, I really would like to touch going forward. Whenever you start on this, I'm happy that the United States of America is now dealing with us now when it comes to corruption.
Well, they're not really dealing with us, but they're pointing it out.
Then we know if you point out something, that means it exists. It exists.
Well,
and we've been
we've been pointing it out, but apparently it doesn't matter if we say it.
That's my point. We've been saying these things for years. We have been affected by this type of behavior. When you have an idea, you go to the business plan, you see it's taken away from you. They deny you funding because maybe the way you speak. All these things needs to be addressed, and I'm happy that the most powerful nation on earth, who happens to be our neighbors, have paid attention to this, and I guarantee you, when the U.S. speaks, they will listen. That's a fact.
Well, okay. Thank you very much, Cleaver. Appreciate it. Well, it's not the first time they've done this report, and yet we're still where we are. It's just, again, for their folks who want to invest. This is what they're advising Americans will find if they plan to look at the Bahamas, right? Will anything change? I don't know. Because a lot of them do get their way and get what they want, despite all of this stuff. But as long as you have the time and the energy and the money for the stuff that you might have to the chance, I guess. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller, on the air. Good morning. Are you there? Let's take that other one. Good morning, you're on the air live.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, the Quester.
Good morning.
Next time we're going on those spa trip, I get a stove in just I need to get up this island. Dwight, let me tell you something. The problem is that every time they sort of come up with a solution, let's say one government comes up with a solution, and what happens? They're voted out. The next government, they come in, they scrap everything. They start there. What happened? They get, just like Donald Trump. He come in with his executive orders. He wipe everything the Democrats come. The Democrats, they come with their executive. And the problem is, we don't have a plan, man.
Yeah. But you know what frustrates me is when the other people come back, right? Like, why don't you just say, hey, where's our plan for last time?
Right.
Let's just go with this. Go
Look
now.
at the cost, but by that time, Dwight, like you said, something that would have cost maybe $1 million now is now costing $10 million, right? And that is the problem. We have educated Bahamians throughout the diaspora who have knowledge about these things. We can tap into them, and they can find a solution. If that guy could find how to use the drone to get the cell phone in the prison, I'm sure we could solve this problem, can't we?
I'm sure there are solutions.
Well, as you say, the cost will be the issue.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Thank you very much. I'm sure the cost of
Yeah.
the drone thing, well, it just cost him a few more years in prison. But yeah, the people who want to do bad seem to have the most creative minds.
They do have the
Yeah,
creative
and
minds,
they are
and
the ones-
apparently the resources to, no one's
whatever it
no one's
takes.
really tying their
Right.
hands.
But when it's for the good,
Yeah.
the will and the money just won't be there. It appears. All right, the phone lines are all lit up, but we've got to go to the news. Got to go to the news. We'll pick this up on the other side. We'll get to what Coral Harbor's experiencing and more. We've got a whole lot more to talk about on this Wednesday morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Go inside, find what the road all flooded up. Yeah, you need a cool ship to try and come pick everybody up. Yeah, yo, let's go. And when you ride through Market Street, oh, the road all flooded up. Yeah, people cast all out and they can't get a record to tow it up. Yeah, the road all flooded up. Nassau all flooded up. Too little bit of the rain. I can park my car cause I don't want no water mess up my bubble. No, I can ride with someone who get a truck or a little tractor.
96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. Also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us 422-4796. And now, day 25, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. Looking to paint? Well, your local Sherwin-Williams store has top-quality paints, expert advice, and everyday discounts to help you save only at Sherwin-Williams. So we've got low-level troughing that's from trailing Hurricane Imelda, and that's going to produce a few isolated showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, mainly over the northern and southeastern Bahamas. Meanwhile, hazardous boating and beaching conditions will continue across the country today. Over the next few days, for Thursday tomorrow, look for troughing over the area to increase shower chances across most of the area through to the end of the week. Strong high pressure is expected to build across the country on the weekend, and that's going to support moderate to fresh breezes over the area, while gentle winds will continue for the southern islands. Streaming moisture will keep showers in the forecast through the weekend, and persistent swells from Hurricanes Umberto and Imelda will continue to produce hazardous boating conditions straight through to the weekend. Beachgoers are urged not to enter Atlantic waters in the northern and northwest Bahamas and should exercise caution in the rest of the country due to swells. Your forecast for today for most areas: partly sunny, becoming variably cloudy tonight. A 20 to 30% chance of isolated showers or thunderstorms for most areas, increasing to 30 to 40% chance for tonight for the northern and northwest Bahamas. Look for high temperatures around 91 Fahrenheit, 33 Celsius, but the heat index will make you feel like it's 106 Fahrenheit, 41 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 79 Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius. In your extended outlook for tomorrow, Thursday, partly cloudy to cloudy conditions for most of the country, variably cloudy for the southeastern islands, though. A 20 to 40% chance of showers and possible thunderstorms for the northern, northwest, and central islands. By Friday, that pattern is pretty much going to hold, and into Saturday and Sunday, with rain chances going up again for Sunday into Monday. In the tropics, hurricane forecast to bring hurricane force winds and damaging waves across Bermuda late today. Right now, Imelda is only about 455 miles west-southwest of Bermuda. On the forecast track, the core of the hurricane will be near Bermuda this afternoon or evening and move away from the island by Thursday afternoon. Out there is still Umberto. Umberto likely to merge with the frontal boundary tonight. Dangerous surf and rip currents will continue across the western Atlantic coastline through the week, still impacting us in that way as well. Right now, Umberto is about 280 miles northwest of Bermuda, and is expected to increase its forward speed until the system merges with the developing frontal boundary tonight. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check also brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Guess what just rolled into the Easy Car Sales lots? Well, direct from the factory, brand new 2026 fully electric models to fit every lifestyle and budget. Visit easy242.com or drop into any of our 3 locations for a test drive into the future. And it's time for a traffic check brought to you by RBC. With RBC, your ideas happen here. So we've got a number of hot spots, mainly because of flooding, still causing challenges on many streets throughout the country. So let's begin from Carmichael Road. You're going to be seeing some slow-moving traffic westbound. And as you get near the Coral Harbor Road roundabout, the flooding still there for north and southbound drivers. You'll notice that. So keep that in mind if you're that part of the island. Elsewhere, we've got on Tawny Bloom's Darling Highway, heavy traffic westbound. If you're exiting, you're going to see that all the way up to Bahamas Games Boulevard. Some slow-moving eastbound traffic towards that roundabout as well. And Blue Hill Road is busy for you as you approach that roundabout with Tawny Bloom's Darling Highway and Independence Drive. That's northbound. Independence Drive, heavy traffic both directions this morning. East Street also seeing slow-moving northbound traffic, north and south of, well, mainly north of the Soldier Road intersection, and that's going to go straight through that roundabout with Independence Drive and East-West Highway up to Robinson Road. And we've got the 6-second roundabout. You're going to be seeing slow-moving northbound traffic and eastbound on John F. Kennedy Drive, and a bit of slow-moving southbound traffic on New Providence Highway. West Bay Street near Saunders Beach, slow-moving traffic eastbound as you approach that roundabout and heading towards Arawak Key as well. And then in eastern New Providence, you got Eastern Road, slow-moving westbound traffic to Fox Hill Road and picking up again as you get closer to Johnson Road and Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections, especially as you get closer to Beatrice Avenue and into Robinson Road near Soldier Road. And of course, Mild Butler Highway, heavy traffic for you from Fire Trail straight up to Tawny Bloom's Darling Highway. Northbound traffic and your morning blend traffic alert. Also brought to you by NUA Insurance agents and brokers. Need cover you can count on? Well, you can buy motor insurance your way. Stop by your nearest branch or visit nuainsurance.com. Simple, secure, and ready when you are.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
The road all flooded up. The road all flooded up. The road all flooded up. When you go inside, find what the road all flooded up. Yeah, you need a push up to try and come pick everybody up. Yeah. Yo, let's go. And when you ride through Market Street, oh, the road all flooded up. Yeah.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean. Coming up in a few minutes, we talk about the CIBC Walk for the Cure event. And a whole lot more on this Wednesday morning. We continue, though. We'll get right back to it about the flooding and some of the areas that are seeing some real challenges right now. Before we do that, though, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the U.S., you know that the government shutdown is in effect now. If you're not familiar, so according to the Associated Press, plunged into a government shutdown, the U.S. is confronting a fresh cycle of uncertainty after U.S. President Donald Trump and Congress failed to strike an agreement to keep government programs and services running by the Wednesday deadline. Wow. And that was September 30th. It's a new month now. So roughly 750,000 federal workers are expected to be furloughed.
Oh, wow.
Some potentially fired by the Republican administration. Many offices will be shuttered, perhaps permanently, as Trump vows to do things that are, quote, irreversible, that are bad, as retribution. But the president, who met privately with congressional leadership this week, appeared unable to negotiate any deal between Democrats and Republicans to prevent that outcome.
Wow.
So it's the third time Trump has presided over a federal funding lapse, the first since his return to the White House. And plenty of blame being thrown around there, as it's quite something. The reason we're bringing it up is because the U.S. Embassy in Nassau is being impacted. They've posted on their Facebook page. I'm going to read it. It says, due to the lapse in appropriations, right, no funding,
right,
government shut down, this Facebook account will not be updated regularly until full operations resume, with the exception of urgent safety and security information. At this time, scheduled passport and visa services in the United States and at U.S. embassies and consulates overseas will continue during the lapse in appropriations as the situation permits.
Oh, wow.
We will not update this account until full operations resume, with the exception of urgent safety and security information. For information on services and operating status, visit travel.gov.
That's major. Catastrophic.
Oh, boy. Yep. Very interesting stuff.
Wow.
So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Wow.
They usually always come to an agreement, right?
Yeah,
at the
right at the last
deadline.
minute.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of expected that, but wow.
Oh, boy. Everybody's got their
Wow.
problems. All right, so let's get back to what's going on here. We're dealing with this flooding and trying to figure out if there can be solutions to the issue. Give us a call, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll free, 242-300-20. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's take this call, and then I want to get to what's going on with Coral Harbor. I've been teasing this all morning.
I know, right?
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Yes, how you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Yeah, I want to comment on Coral Harbor, right? Let me ask you a question, right? Make this make sense. If you work to the Transport Space, right, and you have to pass the Pacific Ocean, and you have to pass the Atlantic Ocean to get to work, right? And you can't get to work, how the hell are you supposed to defend the country? You trying to tell me no one see the water high all these years?
I'm not.
Man, the water high. I'm telling you, Dwight, the water is ridiculous. You know what I do, Dwight? Honestly, tomorrow, right, I'll actually pick you up and carry you around there so you can see for yourself.
I've seen the videos. I wouldn't want to drive through that.
If anyone say they wasn't nervous going through that water, they lie.
Well, I wouldn't have done that.
I'm telling you, listen
I
to me.
wasn't
If
even getting on a boat to go through there.
And say they nervous going through that water, they try to do one out of three things. One, they trying to collect insurance money. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't think you get it like that.
Two, their hair ain't no good. Or three, they in a monster truck. I going through that water yesterday, right? I faced but 12 times.
Wow.
Did you have to go that way? Couldn't you have gone back or gone around? I know it would be a long drive. But
You take the My mother first child, if I could have gone another direction, I'd have gone through that water.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It was that bad.
Yikes. Yikes.
Go, right? And the thing is, this is our part. We have all kind of red plates who live around there, and nothing done with that water all these years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
And
as you say, it happens all the time. Yeah. Wow.
Right? If it rained for a couple of seconds around there, right before budget, the road flooded.
Mm-hmm. Always. Thank you so much. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to listen to the heartache that people went through yesterday, and I'm sure some of that water's still there. We can see it. But this is our Vonnie Katut again with Coral Harbor Road.
One vehicle stalled while other drivers made the decision to turn around on Coral Harbor Road, which remains flooded for the second straight day. The situation was so bad, scores of Defense Force officers' vehicles lined both sides of the road and staff were transported to the base. Eduardo says he was nervous at first about driving through the water, but decided to go for it.
When I saw that car break down, I see all these people lined up out here, yeah. But at that point, I was just already halfway through it. I was like, I was really scared when that garbage truck came through with all that speed. I was like, boy, I hope he don't push all kind of water my way. But what you gonna do?
Mr. Miller fared much better in his tractor, but said he had to tread carefully around a minibus that was stuck in the middle of the road.
Not for me. What's in back?
You live in the area?
No. So we're finishing up a job in the back. But it's deep. It's deep.
Were you a little bit nervous going through it just now?
Not at all. I'm more concerned for the people that especially using the Japanese cars.
However, tour driver Chad Hanna wasn't taking any chances and made the decision to turn around.
Just with so much water, I decided I ain't going through that. Although in a high rise, but no. That don't make cars in the middle of over there are stuck now.
Eduardo had this advice for those venturing onto Coral Harbor Road.
If it wasn't for that truck making all those waves, it would have been way better. But I guess just ride slow and be cautious of the holes and hopefully you can make it out. But there is an alternative route. You don't necessarily have to go through that. If you go down the roundabout to where the truck shop is down the road, you can kind of avoid all that water and come out to a corner by a bunch of meat. Hopefully, whoever hears that helps them out avoid the water.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonnie Katut.
My goodness. Yeah,
wow.
That's rough.
Wow.
Wow. All right. So we got a whole lot of your text messages to get to. Let's get through these quickly, and then we need to take a break. We'll see if we can squeeze in a few more calls. But let's look at these. This person says here, this was springtide together with the rain. My suggestion is every foundation from this day forward should be at least 3 feet off the ground, and the government should implement their appropriate duty reductions to make this affordable. They will end up with the same taxes as more product has to be used in the construction, but the consumer ends up with a moderate flood-proof home. Okay. If you drive through some areas in the inner city, like Lewis Street and Hay Street, you will see corners where every house is on a 3-foot block, so you remember that. Those persons experienced a flood somewhere in their history and did something about it. In addition, more green spaces need to be packed throughout these developments as opposed to the 2x4 areas they like to call a park. It's often concrete parks.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Lots of tracks and stuff. And so, boy, Nassau is surrounded by water and it has very low land areas. The flooding is a very hard situation to deal with when you combine multiple hours of rain and high tide. It spells disaster. Yeah, but as people mentioned before, the fact that we have cut down all of the hills is not helping the situation. And while there's been flooding, we can't deny that in the past, but it is getting worse.
Right, it seems worse now.
Yeah, and areas that didn't.
Correct, are now flooding.
Are flooding, and not just during tropical storms. Flooding during
like regular little rainstorms.
Some rain, yeah. Okay. I heard Minister Bell say there was 4 to 5 feet of water in some homes. He must have meant 4 to 5 inches. The fix is not simple or inexpensive. Yeah, we know that, but it's going to get more expensive the longer you wait.
Yeah.
the longer you wait. This person says here, as a card-carrying member of the F&M, I will join them and work hand in hand or hard to help them. I saw the pictures on Facebook and what's up with the movie. It's not the new DNA. That's mischief makers trying to cause trouble. So he says. The F&M candidate for Fort Charlotte provided an assessment of why water is trapped in the Vista Marina, Propal Tract, and St. Albans Drive areas. He said the aqueduct at the end of Saunders Beach next to the Shell gas station was filled in and compacted by some developer. What? How could that be allowed?
Right.
And they're asking, where is the MP for Fort Charlotte and the former Minister of Works? I don't know if it's true, but that's crazy.
People working out there, like across the street from the Shell gas station on Saunders Beach.
That is wild. Wow.
But a developer could clog it? That's interesting. I hope a fine is being considered.
Fine?
Yeah, something there has to be a consequence. It's a big part of the reason we're in the state that we're in. Yeah. There are no consequences.
Yep. This person says it was comical seeing the Prime Minister in Pinewood Gardens doing an assessment. Why was that comical? How many times are people living in Pinewood going to allow a Prime Minister and others to bamboozle them, using them for photo ops and scoring political points? I don't blame the politicians. I blame the gullible people. I guess they like wet furniture.
Oh, wow.
Wow. As a Killarney resident, in our conversations, we want minutes. Doesn't matter who comes up against. Okay, who's asking anything? Who asks you all anything, though? I don't know.
Oh, gee. Where did that come from?
Where is that coming from? Anyway, we want minutes. Doesn't matter who comes up against him. Minutes is and will continue to be an excellent representative for this community. DNA and COI is the change. The same person saying that?
Wow.
Okay, interesting. Here's the reality. Nothing can be done in Pinewood to change the problem with flooding. Another thing, if vehicles don't drive through at a flowing pace, water can back up in the exhaust and blow the engine. Best thing to do is stay off the road.
Well, stay off the road.
Everybody knows that except for the people on the road driving.
Road, right.
Yeah. This person says here, one aspect of land banking creates new progressive uses of land with future-focused development strategies. We have created concrete jungles and compacted land when we build, so there is no soakage that is greater than rainfall. Okay, let's take this call really quickly, and then we got to take a break. Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Oh, okay. Just disappeared. 323-6232. You can get it in really quickly, folks, as we get ready to go. This person says here, some babies are really suffering from my MP is my daddy syndrome. And this person says, water is everywhere. It's a good thing this wasn't a hurricane for them. Well,
it's certainly showing you what could be, right?
Well, here's the thing. Again, people will note that with the bigger hurricanes, it's less of a rain event. It's more of a wind storm surge, which is a different situation.
Right.
The tropical storms are known to be rain events.
That was a lot of rain.
And so, sometimes you might fare better in a Category 1 hurricane or 2 versus a tropical storm if flooding is a problem, right? You just have to hope things don't get blown away too much. But you can. Final call, we'll take a break. Good morning, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, to both of you in the studios and to the wider Bahamas.
Hi.
Dwight, we've been talking about this ad hoc system. What the Bahamas needs, more so New Providence, is a managed aquifer recharge system or strategy, including urban planning for what they call source reduction and infiltration, and that's reintroducing water into the aquifer. It requires a planning structure that combines what is called on-site retention of water and reuse. Plus, it's not as complicated as I may be making it seem, but basically lack of proper planning gives us this piss-poor results. I've heard this thing about $100 million, $200 million, $300 million. But if you look at the entire island of what we have, the mere fact that even now, so that 86% of our personal water supply is contaminated on New Providence. So planning would allow, with pre-treatment, would allow for reintroduction of the aquifer and management. It is something that has to be done as we grow in population, growth, and everything else. So it has to be a sensible conversation rather than the ad hoc practices that we've had in the past. If we live in the 21st century, maybe we should act like it. Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, we've been saying it for a long time. Hurricane season's still 2 months.
Yeah, we have 2 more
2 months
months.
to go. And,
October, November.
but it's deja vu. It's the same thing over and over. Same conversations we're having.
I can tell you that I saw one good thing. There seemed to be a lot of proactive communication coming out, like this, that. I thought that was pretty cool. I think we did learn maybe 1 or 2 things from previous disasters. So there was an improvement in that. Yeah.
Let's
good. Give that.
At least that.
Yeah, let's give that.
At least that.
I love the song, by the way. This song have me grooving. This is hilarious.
We're going to take a break. We'll change gears, talk about the Walk for the Cure when we get back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
And when you ride through Market Street, oh, the road all flooded up. Yeah, people cast all out and they can't get a record to tow it up. Yeah, the road all flooded up. Nassau all flooded up. Tulane, better in a rain.
Maybe it's time to harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Things may be tough, but Wendy's got you covered. Grab a day single or chicken sandwich with a junior fries and 16-ounce beverage for just $6.95. Why choose less from the other guys when you can get more? At Wendy's, we're providing bigger bites and better deals. So purchase your Tings Tough Value Meal today. Now available at all locations excluding the airport and food truck.
In uncertain times, resilience is everything. That's why CFAL is inviting you to the financial services event of the year, the 2025 CFAL Pension and Economic Conference. It all happens Thursday, October 16th at 8 a.m. at the Grand Hyatt Bahama Convention. In the face of global uncertainty, this half-day conference is your chance to gain powerful insights on navigating today's shifting global economy. This is the premier networking and knowledge-sharing event of the year, and you cannot afford to miss it. So secure your spot today at www.cfal.com.
This October, Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us October 22nd through 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Marcus Samuelson, Dario Cicchini, Simeon Hall Jr., and Scott Conant, alongside a vibrant lineup of chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. From curated tasting events to beachfront feasts and immersive gallery experiences, this is more than a festival. It's a feast for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit Bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival at Bahama. Take center stage.
I used to bite my tongue and hold my breath, scared to rock the boat and make a mess. So I said quietly, agreed politely. I guess that I forgot I had a choice. I let you push me past the breaking point. I stood for nothing, so I fell for everything. You held me down, but I got up.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean on this Wednesday morning. And it is time again for the CI 14th. Wow, this is amazing. This has been going on so long. And here to tell us all about this, we're very pleased to welcome from CIBC, Antoinette Fox, and from CFAL, Paige McCartney. Great to have you all with us. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you all. All right, so remind folks what Walk for the Cure is all about and how it got started, if you know.
Awesome. Good morning again. So our Walk for the Cure is CIBC's signature cancer fundraising activity. This is our 14th year, believe it or not. We started this in 2011, and since then, the bank has raised over $500,000 right here in the Bahamas, and over $3 million US throughout the region. So all the funds that are raised from the Cancer Walk goes to cancer care organizations across the region and in every country where CIBC Caribbean has a presence.
Nice. That's wonderful stuff.
Yes.
I can't believe it's been 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
And
I remember I was the first walk champion for CIBC. I worked there.
What does that mean?
It's just championing the cause, organizing the walk, garnering support, that sort of stuff. So, that's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
When I came to 13 years ago, she brought me into it, and I've been there ever since. And she left me in it.
We are 13, so I feel like we've been on every year.
Yes,
we
have.
Here.
Absolutely. And they still haven't released me because I'm still working for the walk.
And this was when you were at CFC.
Yeah, I'm still currently working on this project.
Excellent. So let's talk more about it, the work and the cancer groups that you support and how that works out.
Well, we support a number of cancer groups here in Nassau and again in the islands where CIBC Caribbean has a presence. We support Sister Breast Cancer Group here in New Providence and Grand Bahama, the Cancer Society of the Bahamas, the Cancer Association of Grand Bahama, and the GD Caring and Sharing Foundation as well.
So the cancer societies, though, I think it's important to note that it's not just Nassau Cancer Society. It's the Cancer Society of Eleuthera, Abaco, and Grand Bahama benefit.
Right.
Yeah.
And the amazing thing is that the walk is happening at the same time on a number of islands. Is that right?
Correct. It's happening here in New Providence and Grand Bahama and Abaco. Eleuthera had to put theirs until October 11th, but it's usually every Saturday in October for all of the islands. Yes.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to get details about that in just a bit. But let's talk to Paige McCartney with CFAL, which is the platinum sponsor. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. CIBC and CFAL are good corporate partners, and we believe that it's not investing in the well-being of our community. Not just financially, but also socially. And we know cancer has touched so many families in the Bahamas, including our clients and our colleagues. So supporting Walk for the Cure was a natural choice for us. We do it on a regular basis, and we're also proud to be close corporate partners with CIBC and its initiatives like this, and giving us a chance to collaborate on something that has a real impact on people's lives. And so this was an important collaboration for us.
That's pretty cool. All right, so this year the funds are going to go to which group, or is it going to be all of the
every year?
All of them? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Every year. I don't think it's so cool about this walk, though, Dwight, is that CIBC foots the cost of the walk. I think that's what makes this walk so endearing to me. They do not take $1 from registration, from sponsorship, from go toward the cost of the walk. They pay for or get sponsors in partnership for components of the walk, and that allows every single dollar to come into organizations like ours.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So before we get into the details about each walk, how is that like coordinating all of these at the same time?
It's fun, it's exciting, it's a lot of work, and it's always good to have persons with good communication, and we do it. We get it done.
That's pretty
cool. It's a team effort.
And what's the response like on those other islands?
The response has always been good on the islands because they also have the same, everyone is touched some way by cancer, so they always have the same support that we have here. And obviously the islands are a bit smaller because they are smaller islands, but they also give the same support.
And I am going to be devil's advocate here, though, and just say that it could be greater support from islands, particularly where, in Eleuthera, there, the Brackagian kind of situation, Freeport, same situation. And so we have seen where the numbers of walkers have declined over the years in those particular islands. And we want to appeal to the corporate organizations in Grand Bahama and in Eleuthera, as well as residents, to support the walk, because the more money that is made, the more can go to the organizations that reside in their islands. Like, this money is coming to your island.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So let's talk about it. It's still happening this Saturday. Despite Imelda, none of that, not going to hold you back.
No.
You're going full steam ahead. What do people need to know if they want to register for this Saturday?
To register for this Saturday, you can pop into any one of our locations anywhere around the islands, in obviously Abaco, Eleuthera, and Grand Bahama as well, but any of the CIBC Caribbean branches here in Nassau, get a registration form, fill it out, just make your payment, and then you can always come to our Shirley Street branch and collect your shirt. So if you want to just do everything there, Shirley Street is where you can pick up your shirts and you can make your registration, and payment is so easy because payment is right online. You don't have to bring no cash. You don't have to deal with no money. Everything can be paid online.
Mm-hmm. And how much is it to register?
To register for adults is $30. For children is $15.
Okay, excellent. And it starts at 6:30, no matter which island you're on.
No matter where you are, 6:30 a.m. we are at the starting line, and we are ready to go.
And we start promptly
every year
year.
at 6:30. Persons be trying to catch up after the fact, and we are gone. We start at 6:30.
Now, Dwight, I just want to speak to the person who is saying, hey, I can't walk. Well, there's stuff happening at the Walk Village, which is Goodman's Bay Corporate Center. We have Coach Laurel, who's going to be doing a stretch and meditation section, who's going to be doing a boxing demonstration with her box group. You can participate by supporting the vendors on property. There's entertainment prepared for you as well. So even though you may not be able to go out on the long walk, you can still participate. The runners go to Sandyport and back. The walkers go to Sandals and back. If you are a cancer patient and survivor and you want to go on the walk, you go to Scotia and back, or you can stay on the park and participate in the activities at the park. Okay. So we make sure that mobility is not an issue.
All right. I was going to ask about that. You just did it. We have people listening on the other islands. Can you tell us the routes for them as well?
I don't know it. That's really bad.
But they'll be able to get the information.
Yeah, it's the same route every year, but they'll be able to get the information in those branches.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And because you forgot to mention Bodine.
Yeah, she's hosting.
She's hosting, and she'll be also making sure that the entertainment is on top notch. So.
And so there'll be, for those who stay behind and when you come back.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Great stuff. So I know you have a lot of other wonderful sponsors you want to mention.
Yes, and we also want to mention that our hydration sponsor is Caribbean Bottle many, many years. I think it's probably the full 14. And they will be providing free drinks from Dasani, Powerade, and their coconut water, Vita Coco. We also have Lennox Payton, who's come on as our refreshment sponsor. So they will be making sure that you have those refueling packages for the participants. And Believers Embassy, again, will be providing free hot breakfast after the walk for all of the attendees. And their dancers will also be there providing entertainment for the...
Did you say free?
Free
hot breakfast. And it's always been good food.
That's pretty cool.
Really, really good food. So
cool.
just a list of some of our sponsors. As you know, we have our platinum sponsor online, CFAL. We have Restaurant Bahamas, Quality Home Center, Indigo Insurance, Duncan Bahamas, John Bull, Bahamas Welding and Fire, Grand Bahama Port Authority, Abaco Grocery. So we do have sponsors in the islands as well. CG Atlantic, Ronald Atkinson and Co., Bahamas Central Securities Depository, Kalina, Coin of the Realm, Star General, Bahamas Realty, Zachary Corporate Services Limited, Procon Bahamas, Outdoor Sports Embassy again, Guana Lumber and Abaco, and Caribbean Bottling, Lennox Payton, Tropic Buzz, Custom Computers, Bodine, Team Bowflex, Bahamas Waste, Cornerstone Fitness, B&B Galaxy Waste Management, Agape Family Dental, Fruit of the Vine Bookstore, the Greenleaf, and Brixia Graphic Design and Photography. And guess what? It's not too late to become a sponsor.
I'm telling you. Oh, Bahamas Waste. We mentioned Bahamas Waste.
Bahamas Waste, yes,
Yeah,
I did. And
yeah.
just complete coverage, the car sponsor is also a sponsor. And Bahamas,
Bahamas
Local
is our media sponsor.
I feel like you just named every company in the phone directory.
The decor sponsor, just
mentioned
complete
it,
coverage.
yes.
Yeah, so
You got every
we got
single
a
company
lot.
registered
Yeah,
in
we
the
got
country.
a lot.
That's some good stuff there. Salute to Corporate Bahamas there. Paige, I'm going to put my friend Paige on the spot. Paige, you're going to be taking part in the walk on Saturday?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's good.
To Sandy Port, but my team from CFL, we're geared up and ready. We're going to get our T-shirts. We're going to show great support for CIBC's Race for the Cure, and also for everybody that we know that's been struggling in the fight and going and overcoming cancer, as well as those honoring those who have lost to it. And, yes, we will be there. I can't tell you how fast I'll run.
But you can walk too, Paige.
I'll do my best.
All right, excellent.
Yeah, and we're inviting all of our corporate partners to come up with their banners so that they can take like group photos of their teams, and our photographer can help with those photos as well. So bring your banners out, take your group photos. We do have a photo booth experience by Pop and Bubble, so they'll be there to capture some of those group photos as well. And if you want to register and you can't make it into a branch, you can register on the morning of the walk.
Oh, you want
at 6 a.m. This walk starts promptly at 6:30. So if
Are you able to bring cash then, or you can still use your card?
any cash or card,
And you can
transfer as well. So all of that will be available if you can't make it into a branch, but you say, "Hey, I want to support this cause."
And then also as a company, you can also register your staff. We had some companies like Prescription Parlor who registered their staff. We had ATOS who registered their staff. So if you're not able to make Lowe's, if you're not able to make a full sponsorship, you can register your staff and have them come out and participate and still bring your banner and take group photos as well.
Absolutely. And if you want to do that, there is a group rate. You can reach out to Antoinette at antoinette.fox@cibc.com or 302-6036 for registration.
Okay. All right, wonderful stuff. I see that you have prizes are going to be out there as well.
Yeah.
Good morning for everybody who takes part.
We have raffle prizes from custom computers. We have tablets. We have Alexa. We have we have prizes that you can win and
be a
go
party.
home with
Yeah,
something.
it's
It's
going to
going to be fun.
It's going to be a great event.
Wonderful stuff. Again, the 14th Walk for the Cure event, CIBC, doing some great stuff there. Antoinette Fox, thank you so much for being here. Paige McCarty with CFAL, thank you. Thank you as Platinum sponsor. Keep up the great work, everybody. And we'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, see you there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Paige.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to break for news and be back with Morning Blend Business in just a bit. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I'm gonna shake the ground. You held me down, but I got up. Get ready, 'cause I've had enough. I see it all, I see it now. I got the eye of the tiger, fire, dancing through the fire. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar louder, louder than a lion. 'Cause I am a champion, and you're gonna hear me roar.
This is streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up. Wake up. It's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean. And as promised, quite a few stories in the paper today about the 2025 Bahamas Investment Climate Statement and what the U.S. State Department is saying about doing business, essentially, in the Bahamas. So the headlines, this is what we're going to talk about this morning, pointing to poor anti-corruption enforcement here, saying that some good governance reforms have stalled. And some of the other stories, investors face numerous challenges here, according to the State Department, and problems obtaining clear title to property. So we'll go through all of these and get your reaction to it. These are things that Bahamians know very well about, have been complaining about for decades. All right, so our first story, Rachel Scott writing about this. In its 2025 Bahamas Investment Climate Statement, the U.S. State Department raised concerns about corruption and a lack of enacted transparency legislation. It said, quote, while anti-corruption laws exist in the Bahamas, enforcement against public officials has been inconsistent. And full implementation of key accountability measures has faced delays. The statement noted that the government has proposed amendment laws, but that several key reforms have stalled, including the Freedom of Information Act, which passed in 2017 but has yet to be fully implemented. It said, quote, ombudsman legislation has been passed, but it has not yet been operationalized. Legislation to establish an integrity commission and implement campaign finance reform remains pending. And campaign financing in the Bahamas continues to be largely unregulated, lacking sufficient safeguards against quid pro quo donations and foreign influence. NGOs investigating corruption have no specific legal protections, further inhibiting civic oversight. The statement also cited sporadic compliance with the Public Disclosures Act.
Sporadic.
That's a very, very interesting word. Very interesting
Suggesting
word.
that there is some.
Well, I'm sure there is, but we won't know who and who not, right? Who is not doing it, because, I mean, freedom of information is not a priority. But yes, sporadic compliance with the Public Disclosures Act, which mandates that senators, members of parliament, and senior public officials file annual declarations of assets, income, and liabilities to the Public Disclosure Commission. It said, quote, and the disclosures as required by law. And you get the most ridiculous, this is me now, the most ridiculous excuses when inquiries are made, right? Nonsense about vacations or Christmas or I was away or whatever.
People who are supposed to lead, show example, breaking the law. With excuses. What the rest of us supposed to do?
Oh, don't be like them. That's what.
Wow.
The statement goes on to say, quote, the most recent gazetted report dates back to December 2011.
What?
Covering declarations only up to 2008. Efforts are reportedly underway to modernize the filing and publication system.
Wow.
That's a joke. Efforts. The statement did make note of the Independent Commission of Investigations bill, which was passed earlier this year to establish an independent body. The Independent Commission of Investigations empowered to investigate allegations of serious criminal activity by members of the security forces and public officials. But it said, quote, it is expected to take 1 to several years before the commission becomes fully operational. That's a big leap. 1 to 7.
What is define?
Or more. 1 to 7. Several. But the statement noted that the Bahamas is tied with the U.S. at 28th out of 180 countries in Transparency International's Corruption Perception Index in 2024.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that's disturbing. I don't know who's that more disturbing for. But is that higher than we've been? Let's see. Still, it said there is concern of the Bahamas' downward trajectory in the rankings in recent years. Oh, no, so you're going down. However, the country's ranking has fallen 9 points since 2011, indicating growing concerns over governance and corruption enforcement. It also raised specific examples of alleged corruption by government officials and law enforcement agencies, making reference to a 2024 New York indictment that named senior Royal Bahamas Police Force and Royal Bahamas Defense Force members as conspirators in an attempt to traffic cocaine through the Bahamas and into the U.S. The report said, quote, bribe $1,000 to $2 million to facilitate drug trafficking operations. The U.S. indictment also implicated an unnamed high-ranking Bahamian politician accused of agreeing to authorize law enforcement assistance in exchange for a $2 million bribe.
Wow.
Well, you remember that, but we just still don't know who that was or if it was just talk, right? But the report also referenced the courts charging former cabinet minister Lanisha Roll and Long Island MP Adrian Gibson in separate incidents with crimes related to corruption during the last F&M administration. Both cases are still ongoing. The statement said that, quote, the Bahamian law provides criminal penalties for corruption, including fines of up to $10,000, imprisonment for up to 4 years, or both for bribery of a government official. While the government generally enforces these laws, application remains inconsistent, particularly with regard to public officials. There continues to be a pressing need for stronger enforcement mechanisms to prevent conflicts of interest, especially in the awarding of government contracts, which are often alleged to favor political supporters. Alleged. There have been isolated reports of officials accepting small-scale bribes of convenience, financial treatment to wealthy or politically connected individuals. The statement said that while the government has made efforts to improve transparency and efficiency, quote, investors face challenges such as a lack of clearly defined investment procedures, delays in resolving legal disputes, and incomplete implementation of anti-corruption reforms. It says that U.S. investors should be aware of the potential risks and capitalize on areas where they hold a competitive advantage. Ongoing monitoring of the investment climate is recommended, particularly as the government continues to improve transparency and efficiency reforms.
So they essentially have a problem with the way that we do life.
Well, I don't know if they have a problem, actually.
Man.
It's just pointing it out. This is how they do things.
This is like common knowledge. Everybody knows. It's just horrible. It's horrible that that's what reputation is. Corruption.
So again, I don't know if they have a problem. They're just letting you know
this is what it is.
When you go down there,
man.
just note that you'll have to deal with this.
And you got to pay. Pay a little extra for this. Pay a little extra for that. You get to pay a little extra.
Time.
So I have a question. I know I'm full of questions. So this title search thing, right?
All right, we'll get to that one in a bit.
We haven't reached that yet.
So let's get your reaction to that at first. They brought up a lot of things we complain about all the time. FOIA, campaign finance reform, all these things.
Disclosures, right. All of that.
So frustrating. Every single year, we say stuff, no one pays attention. You ask the people who are in charge, they give you the lamest excuses, and nothing changes. Seeing it in writing, that the last time there was a publication of the list, my God,
for 2008.
This is ridiculous,
Crazy.
Right?
I totally agree with you. But why are there no consequences?
But
it's against
will
the
there
law.
be any response today?
No.
Will there be any response at all?
No.
Some new distraction will come up.
Correct.
And they'll move on and think we forget. But let's get your reaction before we get to the other stories. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Before we get to the call. So again, you know, the election's coming up and people, all the little documents are going to say, well, our priority will be freedom of information, campaign finance reform. They're going to say all this stuff. As soon as they get in, you know, people need to eat.
Right, shelve it.
Potholes everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't
Priorities
eat freedom
change.
of information.
Right.
That's not going to be.
I mean, like, how do you disclose what you're doing, though? I mean, like, isn't that cutting your nose off to spite your face? Okay. Which is probably why it's not being done.
Wow. Let's hear what this caller has to say. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, I'm here.
Hi.
Yeah, legislation without implementation, eh?
There you go.
That's what it seems like. But there are some investors who like crooked government. So let's face it now. A lot of investors, I think, many of them thrive when we have a government that we seem to be looking at here in the Bahamas. I could name quite a few, but we don't need to go there. But
Right.
I am happy that the United States is calling the the kettle black, because theirs is just as black as ours. Yeah. So maybe if they would now threaten these fellas, we're going to do something to your visa if you don't get this anti-corruption bill straight, public accountability, freedom of information, integrity commission, get them balls rolling, or we're going to give you some issues with your visa. There are some Bahamians who cried out to the U.S., I think it's Marco Rubio, for some change. I don't know if you recall that letter that was sent to him.
Yeah, we do.
You do or you don't?
Yeah, we do. But I mean,
Yeah, well,
what they
but
called out
it-
for was weird stuff, though, right?
Yeah, but
Wasn't it?
some of this was included, critiquing the government. And I think it's a great
Why would you
impression.
go to him? I mean,
Well, they just need to go to somebody who's crooked like the government we have here. That's all.
Okay.
That's what it boils down to. We need crookedness to get rid of crookedness. You
listen.
fight fire with fire.
You're trying to cause trouble.
Isn't that what Newsom said?
Why do we?
Fire.
You are a troublemaker, sir.
Indeed I am.
Yeah.
Say indeed I am.
Have a
Indeed I
good day.
We have to be forced
Wow.
by having things that we cherish threatened for us to do what's right. Is that serious?
Well, they haven't done that. Maybe, but
Right, but I mean, like, is that really what it has to come
But it
to? That
seems so.
these things have to be threatened.
well, you saw that with the Cuban situation.
crazy, right.
As soon as that threat was
Correct.
out there was movement.
Correct.
So just writing a report about
That's
something
pathetic.
will not get anything.
That is pathetic.
But if you threaten something, it's quite possible.
That is pathetic.
I wonder if they'll respond to our threats.
No, nobody.
Oh no. Well, maybe they know we're not.
Right, we
gonna
can't
really do anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we could do something.
It's pathetic.
Anyway, let's take another call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Morning, Dwight.
Good morning. Turn on your radio for us, please. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Hi.
Morning.
Yes, good morning. Question.
Morning. Radio
You got to
still
turn
too
on
high.
your radio. There's a lot of feedback.
Yes, the Bahamas ain't have no shame. Why do the states have to tell us what's going on in our own country?
No, they're not doing that. They just, again, we know this and we are telling us this, but they're reporting this to investors in the U.S. who are thinking about investing in the Bahamas.
But that's not good for our country, and that's not good for investors.
Well, that's debatable. But like the previous caller said, some investors kind of like an environment like this. They know where they stand, just throw some money at it, and we'll get our stuff done.
And that's a warning for our governments, them, the two governments, the FNM and PLP, that's a warning for them. Get right and stop being corrupt.
Well, it's noticed that we see
I hear
something.
ya.
We watching we notice something.
Thank you for
You
the call.
know, yeah.
I mean, you get knocked down some lists,
Yeah.
right? But is it really a warning to them? You have to wonder if they.
We're
if they
just
really
putting a
care.
report to say we see this,
Yeah.
but they haven't taken it to the next level yet.
I'm sure when you ask somebody about this today, they'll say, well, the challenge has been this. And they'll come up with some excuse as to why we've fallen some numbers on the perception list. Right?
Really?
They always do. So, it rained a lot last year, and so it caused things to not get done as quickly. And so that gives people the perception
It's down in
that
the
there's
total.
a delay.
It's like
and that,
item number 200.
Yeah. And then you have
in
to
a list of 200.
judge who they surveyed for that. Those people have agendas.
You're giving me a headache. You're giving me a
There's
headache.
always an excuse. There's always an excuse. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, to Mr. Strong. Good morning to the Cresser.
Good
Hi, good morning.
Welcome back. We missed the Cresser.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
We Cresser.
I'm here.
So now, Mr. Strong, here's what's pathetic for me. Since the Cresser's on that line, here's pathetic for me. We all are exposed to American news, and so the big undercover thing that they really fluorescent or highlighted, right? I don't know if you watched it and realized the implications of the inglorious corruption, the chronology that they painted as relates to the finding the 30 Chinese, 2 of them were children, coupled with the amount of drugs that were found on the boat. I think it was about 300, I don't know how much pounds it was, but I did the math. It was like 171 kilos of cocaine, right? Chloride. Now, what happened is they went on to say how interesting, because they are compounding human smuggling with drug trafficking. So they became aware, and so they did. I followed it. This is what they said. They followed the phone conversations between these people and the migrants, and they linked it, and this is what they said, from China to the Bahamas to them. And so it was a cause of concern, the fact that children are found on this boat. But yet still, the authorities, the Minister of National Insecurity is mum on these particular things that they should have run the narrative on.
What you
but he's
call
on
it?
the news saying that he's cooperating with the American government as relates to drug trafficking, et cetera, et cetera. When I told you guys that all of these things, you have to juxtapose them together. They interface with one another. You can't discuss one without the other. And that is what's pathetic for me. You know, why it isn't any of our government officials saying anything about this, and they're talking about rights of children. Well, you got 2 little children on the boat. You think any of them was there with their parents?
Okay. Call before we get to these other stories. Thanks a lot for the call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, Dwight, I agree with 52, and human trafficking is a big concern for us and other stuff. But I'm happy that the United States of America has pointed these bullet points out to us. But the Crest, I believe they've taken it to another level. I don't think they're just printing this just for basing ink and nothing is going to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I expect our public officials, and we should all rally behind this, and express our concerns. We should inundate these talk shows with complaints that we would have suffered as locals as well, and trained, because we've been, and it isn't a good image for us. It isn't a good image at all. Yes, we have, the U.S. have their challenges as well, but this president seems to be more focused on correcting all of that. And irrespective of whether you like him or hate him, Trump, and I hope that the United States of America, these countries, these third world countries that they partner with, and the U.S., I don't want them to come across as being hypocrite, because they cannot befriend these particular countries like the Bahamas who have these concerns, these legacy concerns, and allow this thing to continue, because they would be basically, it'll come across like the U.S. would be aiding and abetting, but they can put the type of pressure on the Bahamas and threaten to withhold aid if they don't address these particular issues like freedom of information. And every year you see them, they don't declare. We don't know how much what's going on. I mean, the U.S. shouldn't even be involved in these type of being friends with these type of countries.
Oh, wow.
And I hope that they put enough pressure on the Bahamas to get us back on track to where we're supposed to.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, so before we get to these other stories, let's read these messages. This person says here, what a classic example of the pot factory calling the kettle black. The U.S. should talk after their last election. They're making some accusations here. You're missing the point. There's not. Did you hear any lies in that?
Not a single one.
These are things we talk about almost daily on these shows here, right? There are no lies. They're just regurgitating the news of the past year or two. So again, this is not they're not scolding anybody. This is a report for investors. Hey, if you, American citizen, are considering investing in the Bahamas for a project, expect this. This happened over the last year. This has happened in the past 2 years. They don't do that. They don't do this. They claim they're going to do this, but they haven't done it yet. Mm-hmm. So that might make you frustrated and angry. Just so you know, you've been warned because we look out for our citizens, and we're telling you. Right? Now, they're not telling anybody not to do anything. They're just pointing out what's going on.
And giving a warning to their citizens.
If you want to get mad at that, Bahamians, that's your business. But we've been reporting at all these things every day for years. And when we do it, they say you have an agenda. ELP, it must be this or that and that.
What's so crazy about that is they're saying that, but everybody knows that what was said is true.
Every part.
So
every part.
Classic case of putting your head in the sand. Right.
This person says here, well, Fred Mitchell already told y'all ain't getting FOIA. So, Yeah, not a priority. Only what he said elitist people are interested in that. That is,
Oh, wow.
nobody else. The grassroots people, on the ground people, don't give a crap about freedom of information. It's only those.
So they got
snooty
slapped in their
people.
face and didn't realize that they got slapped in their face.
Who? When?
The grassroots people who
Well,
he apparently
I mean-
believes isn't interested.
Well, I don't know who if he did a survey. I'm not sure.
Yeah, 'cause
I
why
don't
would you
believe
make that
that's
assumption?
True, but he seems to think that they're more concerned about jobs and food.
Oh, washing machines and $50.
Oh, what now?
Sorry.
Weren't you on vacation? You can't come back with that type of spirit. But you should say it again. Though. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Dwight.
Hi.
Good morning, ladies. I hope you enjoyed. You had said you had fun in Dubai.
Oh, we had a fabulous time. Thank
Well,
you.
I only could take a vacation last year and go on Crooked Island and they tried.
That should be a beautiful place, though. Untouched seas,
Yeah.
beaches. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you ain't got the challenges I have with them, with these government unofficials, Dwight. What you had read earlier saying something with the report from America was saying that the people them having a problem with getting titles.
Yeah, we're going to get to that right now.
The property.
Yeah, we're going to get to that one right now. Mm-hmm.
We're going to read that story in a sec.
Well, I only wanted to make one comment. They only have a problem with that if they not in bed with the government and officials here in the Bahamas.
Well, that's what it's saying.
That's exactly what the other
You got to pay to
article is
play.
saying.
So we'll get to that. So listen carefully to it. Thanks a lot. Okay, a couple messages as we begin getting ready to that story. This person says that the U.S. has no moral authority to talk about corruption. They are in no position to talk about corruption, and we buy everything the U.S. says. Well, you buy it when you know
But at least the information is readily available. You could research. You could
Yeah.
find the information.
You know
It's not hidden.
It's not
right.
Not phony. It's not because you've been there and you've tested it out. It's like, yeah, that's the real deal. Because this happened to me. I'll buy it because I know this is. Anyway, does that caller praising the U.S. and saying it should not be our president? Okay, we have to go down this road. Wow. Let's read this story. Callers will get back to you. It's getting very personal now. People get upset. Maybe I don't know what's going on. All right, so U.S. Embassy, problems obtaining clear title to property in the Bahamas. Our Chester Robards writing about this in today's Guardian Business section. The U.S. Embassy at Nassau has received complaints about problems obtaining clear title to property in the Bahamas, according to the U.S. State Department's Bahamas Investment Climate Statement, which added that investors in the Bahamas have also complained about lengthy and difficult real estate processes. The statement says that the, quote, U.S. Embassy Nassau has received reports of problems obtaining clear title to property, often delaying real estate transaction closings. This can be due to the seller having no legal right to convey or because separate claims to ownership arose after a purchase was made. The statement noted that governments have committed to allaying these difficulties through the redevelopment of a digital land registry. It improves market transparency, facilitate the ease of doing business, and ensure households and businesses have secure titles. It laments, though, that the government does not publish the number of cases where property is without a clear title. It says that, quote, despite the high number of second home owners in the Bahamas, local and international investors describe the process of registering property as lengthy and difficult. Land ownership in the Bahamas is based on English law and can include crown land, commonage land, and generational land. The investor's secured interest in mobile and immobile property is recognized and enforced by law. Mortgages in real property and legal rights in personal property are recorded with the Registrar General of the Bahamas. The U.S. Department of State explains that unoccupied property cannot revert to other owners, like squatters, which it contends has led to a high incidence of unoccupied, derelict, and partially constructed residences. It also notes that the city of Nassau currently suffers from the existence of numerous abandoned buildings. In 2023, it says the government issued demolition orders for 9 derelict buildings in the downtown area, and as of April 2025, U.S. Embassy Nassau is aware of 6 of 9 being demolished. legislation to support the redevelopment map being drafted. Okay. Yeah, let's get your reaction to that. So, investors having problems with property.
Bahamians having problems.
Well, right. We might not care so much about the investors having the issues, but
more,
I'm
more
sure
of us are having issues with that.
Right.
That's
mainly because of
it's crazy.
Some foreign investors often. But yes, it's a problem that needs to be addressed across the board.
Wow.
Across the board.
So they're going to eventually get to a digital system where they scan all this information in, because right now it's a hand search, and hopefully you could find what you're looking for.
It's quite complex.
It's crazy.
Hopefully we'll have somebody on soon to talk about how that is going. But yeah, we know that's been a big problem for many decades.
Correct.
Let's take these calls and we'll get to the other stories about this report. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, gracious, Dwight. Yeah, I just like to want to comment on the land situation, right? Dwight, that's been a problem. We've been selling people properties with bad title deeds. But the reason for that is, right, what happened is once you get a parcel of land, right, you could have a title for it, and the lawyers would research it probably for 12 years to about 15 to 20 years. But sometimes, most of the title deed that predates the time that is researched. So land in Nassau, it could have like about 2 to 3 different titles for the same piece of property.
Wow.
So we'll actually continuously have this problem pertaining to land in the Bahamas. Trust me, Dwight, it's crazy when it comes to land.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually ridiculous. And I really don't think that the problem will actually be solved within this decade. Because like I say, you could buy, say, a parcel of land in Foxhill, right? You have the title for it, it's cleared and everything, and it's done the title research for it, right? But someone could actually have a title for that property that predates the one that you have that says that they own it from 1776.
Wow.
So who's the real owner of the land?
Yep, indeed.
And then you lose your money, and then you'd spend about 20-some years trying to solve that problem in court.
Yeah.
It's actually ridiculous.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We are painfully aware. Caller, good morning. You're live on the air. Are you there? Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, Dwight, I'm calling back. The issue with the foreigners under the International Persons Land Holdings Act and the hold up with them, other than us as Bahamians, any foreign person under Section 2 must apply to the investment board prior to signing any land. As understood, right?
Okay.
Now, what happens is the lawyers for the foreigner or your attorneys will engage the action that's between two private individuals. And once that is done, they do that because that makes a transaction void ab initio, where under Section 3.1 it says.
Okay, no, we don't have the time to go through all that, but yes, it's complicated, and I think this is what the point is. It's a lot of stuff. It might need to be simplified, but you have to be so careful. But thank you for the call. Really appreciate it. All right, let's read these messages before we get to the final story in the papers today about investors facing numerous challenges. This texture says here, same crackhead games, Dwight. The U.S. warning to investors highlights uncomfortable truths. Too many of our politicians wear the title honorable without that honor. Corruption is real and we cannot ignore it, yet America's playbook has always been to act in its own best interest. As Bahamians, the responsibility is ours. To choose the leadership we deserve. And while we thank the U.S. for its assessment, transparency reports suggest both nations share similar struggles. Yeah, they're not denying. But, you know, if you were a kid and said, but Johnny did it too, I think that would not be well received by whoever was trying to punish you or scold you or correct your behavior. So I don't think countries should try that one. This one says here, it is amazing the reports coming from the U.S. Many things they're saying are true, though. I see Bahamas all over trying to... Is that what they're saying? I see organizations all over trying to be relevant. Let me just say I lose all respect. Oh, they are talking about Bahamas. during their quietness when it came to the. Okay, you mixing up stuff here. Texter, come see. This is the wild stuff that happens. Always saying, "How come you didn't talk about this? How come you didn't?" You talk about it.
Right.
You talk about it. And what you text, is that before them? Is that the type of thing they would talk about? Think about it. Come on. That doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to read the rest of it. We should not need the U.S. to tell us the negative truths we ourselves know, but sometimes whatever vehicle needs to be used to achieve the results is the best vehicle. It is a shame, though. Again, this isn't for us. This is for American investors. Media here is reporting what they are reporting to their American investors.
Right, because we already know.
This is not, hey, y'all Bahamians, did y'all know that y'all don't like to declare? Right. We're not saying that. This is just, if you want to invest your millions or billions, Mr. Rich American person or Miss,
this is what you're getting into.
You might be frustrated by the way they do things down there. That's all. They're not talking about us. What or they are talking about us, but they're right. They're not telling you about yourself.
Right.
You could make a report about the U.S. Go right ahead. Right. Go right ahead. Write about them. Talk about what happened when you went to school over there and how they treated you. You could do it.
Right.
Do it. I mean, every year issue a statement. You could do it. Will Americans report on what you say? I doubt it. But we will. I'm sure. This person says here, we like to say America's corrupt, which might be so. However, the difference is that American people have the collective gonads, to confront, protest, and expose corruption. Then there are consequences, but we are ostracized, criticized, and victimized when we expose lies. With a fantastical, polarized collective, the Bahamas, my advice is wise up and rise up. Oh, boy. Okay. An issue for me is the Westminster system, which in my opinion suppresses information that, nope, you don't know what you're talking about. That's absolutely not true. That's ridiculous, actually. The problem is the Bahamian people and the way we do things. None to do with Westminster. Stop it. Stop it, because watch and see what goes on in the UK and how quickly people you are fired for any old thing. You
consequences.
Said it was Wednesday when it was Tuesday and you would lose your job. So nothing to do with that. That's just the way you want it to be in this country because that's how we always do things. You want to give this tip for that thing.
You don't want to disrupt.
You don't want to change it. Yeah. You don't make any noise when the MP you voted for has not filed a disclosure since 5 years.
Right.
You're fine with it. Like, oh well, we got bigger problems to deal with.
Correct.
Did you see the video with the? I don't know if it's true. I'm trying to find it, but it's suggesting the police force is testing out drones to do to crack down traffic violators. Hallelujah, thank God.
Wow.
But the number of comments about the police don't have anything better to do.
Right.
And what's the big deal with that car overtaking 50 cars?
Right.
Why is that a problem?
Right. The mindset.
That's why.
The mindset. Correct.
That's the problem here. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Boy.
It ain't my business. That's the attitude.
It actually goes on to say we need to move away from this antiquated system, talking about Westminster again. And we need to know who, why, and how our politicians voted and what they are doing with respect to our affairs. You could make adjustments to the system. I agree with that, absolutely. Right? We could do a lot of things. This is a classic example of U.S. political interference. Nope. As the election draws near, be ready for more American media viewpoints on Bahamian matters. That's crazy. That is what they do worldwide. So sad our people have yet to catch on. To what? To what? To catch on to what? What was not true about what was said here?
Every single thing is true. Every single thing is true.
These are things all of these parties have promised us,
correct.
And we're yet to see.
We live this every day.
This is interference?
Yeah, we live this every day.
That's hilarious.
We live this every single day.
Okay, that's great. That's great. Attorneys in this modern day always seek to obtain the point of which the Crown granted the title to a private individual, unless credible proof of the ownership exists. They may not need to go that far. The issue of title due to the registry process is that some previous work to prove title may have not been done, and any unanswered requisitions may render a title unmarketable.
So you just keep redoing the work. You just keep redoing it. Every time there's a sale, you redo it.
Ah, boy. All right, really quickly, before we get to these calls, let me read this one. Investors facing numerous challenges. Well, join the club, right, investors? That's how behaviors. As you said, this is welcome to daily life in the Bahamas.
This is us.
The Bahamas remains a top nation for U.S. foreign direct investment. However, there are challenges for investors when attempting to conduct business, including approval delays and a lack of transparent investment procedures. That's according to the U.S. Department of State's recently released 2025 Bahamas Investment Climate Statement. The statement explains that the Bahamas lags behind other countries when it comes to starting a business, registering property, acquiring construction permits, accessing credit, and resolving property disputes.
100%.
100%.
100.
Bahamians complain about it
The exact
every
same thing.
single hour.
Correct.
Correct. The statement says, quote, significant delays in the approvals process have occurred, including cases where the government failed to respond to investment applications. The National Economic Council, the NEC, must grant special approval for foreign investment projects valued at $10 million or more, those with national security implications, or those that require environmental and economic impact assessments. The NEC is comprised of government ministers, including the Prime Minister in his dual role as Minister of Finance, well, at least this one currently, and the Deputy Prime Minister as the Minister responsible for investments. The approval process generally requires review by multiple government agencies and a BIA, Bahamas Investment Authority, recommendation prior to NEC consideration. Bureaucratic impediments are not limited to the NEC approvals process. The U.S. State Department said that while the government has promoted plans to launch Bahamas Invest as an independent agency intended to fast-track foreign direct investment, streamline approvals, and increase transparency, there has been, quote, visible progress on this initiative, and it remains unclear whether it remains a government priority. It said currently the BIA continues its oversight of all FDI-related activities. It said that much of the FDI in the Bahamas comes in the form of tourism-focused development, and that investors meeting specific criteria can access investment incentives, including customs duty exemptions on construction material for projects such as timeshares and hotels, stamp duty exemptions and excise and property tax exemptions. It adds that despite those incentives, high labor costs, red tape in the investment approvals process, and inconsistent public contract tendering remains challenges. Okay. Let's get your reaction to all that, folks. Let's take these calls, and we'll get back to these messages in our final few minutes here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
To you guys again. Good morning to Violet Bahamas.
Hi, good morning.
Would it be correct if I say our deficit in transparency, accountability, integrity, anti-corruption, or freedom of information has become a global liability? I would think so. What we need, right, is digital governance, brings the level of accountability. But before I get there, let me just speak about this kettle, right? We happen to hear our neighbors talking among themselves in their house about how we behave in our house. And we doing what we do with our leadership is we take the position is, I am not as corrupt as them. I'm not as incompetent as them. I'm not this as them. See, the thing when you choose to say I'm not as corrupt as you must admit that you are corrupt. And so, and we do this in leadership, and then this is where, and I think we need to stop this garbage about FNN governed, and PLP govern. People govern, leadership govern. And so you get to hide instead of looking at individual leadership, or begin to examine those who want to seek leadership. You get to hide behind the machinery defined as, oh, the FNM party or the PLP party. It is people, and that's where the judgment, or what you say, the decision lies in respect of that. But when you speak with the kettle, you know, the true story of the kettle was that in the days where they used to keep a kettle and a pot on the stove, the kettle was polished. And the pot was black, dirty, crusty, whatever, from the coal and the ash, would see its reflection in the kettle and begin to describe themselves based on that reflection. And so if we are claiming that the United States is calling us black, then we have to then claim the problem that we see ourselves as a polished kettle with all the defects and everything else that we've been arguing about.
Well, I actually don't think it's too many people. People who are probably part of the problem are the only ones saying that right now. We've got a few of those text messages, and we're quite certain that many of our texters are problematic individuals. But but I don't think that's a common view here, Seattle. Thank you so much for the call. No lies have been told.
Yeah.
No lies have been told. Again, it seems, sadly, as some callers have said, that only when there are these reports that are holding up mirrors to us, that people pay attention.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
when it's reported every day in the National Guardian, plenty of people just ignore it.
Or in person, but the different happens. It's just accepted as the norm. This is the normal way of doing business.
And that's insane.
It is absolutely insane.
A couple more calls. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Good morning again, Dwight, and good morning again, Professor. Dwight, where are we on the ease of doing business?
What scale are you rating it on?
Which one? You mean like what the international folks say or what we feel?
I mean, based on the international spectrum.
I mean, I don't mean
9 out of 10 or what?
9 in terms of ease or difficulty. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. We know that it's challenging. We know, and even all of the government leaders will tell you that we have to do better with the ease of doing business. So everyone knows there's a problem.
And the other thing, Dwight, that you mentioned on report, this access to capital. I mean, if you are an investor, I told you to bring your money with you, right?
Well, that's a different story.
So why they won't come looking for money here? Is that what they say? That it's hard to borrow money here? It's hard for behemoths to borrow money for their business. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But access to capital, that shouldn't be one on their list. Not with the empty suitcase. They should bring some.
Yeah, they got to have something.
Some money. You know what I mean? But they come with their hands swinging, and then they want our land and then put up our land for capital thing.
Or they only bring enough for the official.
Right.
According to what
access.
folks are saying.
Right.
We'll bring enough for the official.
Yeah,
we need to borrow some money.
Right.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air. Allegedly. Caller, good morning. You're live. Are you there? No. Okay, let's read these messages in our final few minutes here. So this person says, I hope they are complaining. I hope they complain about the red tape that Bahamians endure. And why would they do that? You've got to do that. You've got to do that. But what they're talking about is what everyone experiences.
Right.
What everyone experiences.
We experience the exact same things.
Yeah. This texter says here, oh my goodness gracious. Okay. We still have a lot of blind people in our country who can't see corruption. They don't want to.
They see it. They accept it as the norm.
Yeah. Or they are the people.
Yeah.
That are
Corruption.
the corrupt ones.
Yeah.
And that, why y'all talking about this? This is how I eat. This is
Right,
how I
correct.
can life.
And plenty people participate in it, even if it's small little things like, giving this person a tip to get something done for you, or giving this person this little couple dollars to advance something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of participation in. Everybody knows that if you need something done, you got to do something.
So I don't know if this person's saying this sarcastically or cynically, but they're saying, so does it mean that if I they mentioned a few fast food restaurants, buy lunch for one of the government officials in the ministries to get my paperwork done, maybe for my passport or national insurance, that's considered bribing a government official?
It is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. Because you're taking that as an enticement to whatever your end result is.
Because you'll move from the bottom of the pile to the top.
Yeah.
And
And
all
go
those people
broke in
who
the
were there
process because you got to do it for every single industry that you need to go to.
You can roughly do something corrupt
Yeah.
on your other end so you can make the money
Right,
to bribe other
correct.
people to
So
do their job.
it just cultivates. Right, yeah.
It
there you
never
go.
ends.
There
It
you
never
go.
ends. But yes, that is considered
Yeah.
bribing. And in some places, when they come here and have to do this, they get very upset and say,
Yeah.
I really
You see it as norm.
because people tell you better take
Yeah.
something for them
Right,
for lunch.
Right. Yep. If you want it done.
If you want it done. Wow. This text just says here, what did I do? Oh, boy. Okay. I had an opportunity to open a company in the People's Republic of China and never met a government official. Everything was done online.
Because you shouldn't have to.
Oh, boy. Can you imagine proposing something like that here?
You shouldn't have to.
Why then do you look at the straw in your brother's eye but do not notice the rafter in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, allow me to remove the straw from your eye when, look, a rafter is in your own eye? Hypocrites. First remove the rafter from your own eye, and then you will see clearly how to remove the straw from your brother's eye. Is this a message to the United States? Is that what you're sending, texter? They are what your government should be doing, looking out for their people and telling them what to expect if you want.
I think that's what people are missing. I think people are missing that this information, as reported, is a message that they're given for their citizens' protection or consideration, and not to say, Bahamians, this is what's happening in your country, do better.
It is not
I think
an
that's
end
what people are
of year
missing.
report
You're right.
card to say, you know,
This is just a warning to
Tommy
say,
is
hey,
a
if you're
good
going on,
kid,
let it be
but
business.
no,
Right.
It's not
Right.
that. Not that at all. I care that this is happening in this country, texter. Do you not care that the politicians don't seem to declare or we can't find out who did or who didn't? Do you not care? Do you not care that freedom of information apparently is not a priority according to certain people?
Nope.
Even though almost every week there are lots of people calling for it. You don't care? You don't care that we haven't seen a lot of these things that they've promised, including campaign finance reform, and we've got a big election coming up? You don't care at all?
No.
We shouldn't care? Is that what you're saying? Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. This is great.
If it doesn't impact you, don't touch it. That's it. That's it right there. That is not my business.
This texter says, you all are right there handing over the country to neo-colonists. Okay. Okay. Carry on smartly. Get your money. Make sure you give that official his lunch today.
Yeah.
And hand that envelope under the table
And
to
then-
that person you're meeting with later. Do it.
20,000 others will do the exact
Yes,
same
carry
thing.
on
you,
smartly,
you
Bahamians.
add it up. Add it up and see who's really winning.
And get ready. If you're expecting to open that thing in November, but it'll be November, maybe November 2028. But yeah, that's just how it is. That's how it is in the Bahamas. Carry on smartly.
You know, I was depressed.
You're depressed. You missed the Bahamas.
This is the second time when I came home from my son, and then when I came home here. What was disappointing was seeing how people just automatically switch. You will go into a foreign country and follow the laws, and you'll have structure and all that sort of stuff. And the minute you get back, you turn into this monster that needs someone else to govern you. Like what is it? It's
overtaking 50 cars.
Yeah, it's been like we've been cultivated to disrespect
Driving on the sidewalk.
this country, and the systems are non-existent. It's like it's purposeful to keep you frustrated.
Dumping sofas on the side of the road.
It's insanity. Like even in Dubai, they take such pride in that cleanliness. Where did we lose that as a people?
Dean, great to have you back.
Too.
Good to see you.
Good to be here.
I'll see you again soon.
Yeah, we will.
And pick up today's Guardian Business is more on the, you can read it for yourself, these reports, but also an interesting story about non-performing loans in August. The number has gone up, and more in the Guardian Business section. This portion of the show brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here. Everybody have a great day. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
In uncertain times, resilience is everything. That's why CFAL is inviting you to the Financial Services Event of the Year, the 2025 CFAL Pension and Economic Conference. It all happens Thursday, October 16th at 8 a.m. at the Grand Hyatt Bahama Convention Center. Under the theme Resilience in the Face of Global Uncertainty, this half-day conference is your chance to gain powerful insights on navigating today's shifting global economy. This is the premier networking and knowledge-sharing event of the year, and you cannot afford to miss it. So secure your spot today at www.cfal.com.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976. This October, Bahama invites you to indulge your senses at the Culinary and Arts Festival, where world-class flavors meet breathtaking creativity in the heart of the Bahamas. Join us October 22nd through 26th for an unforgettable celebration featuring culinary legends Daniel Boulud, Marcus Samuelson, Dario Cicchini, and Simeon Hall Jr., alongside a vibrant lineup of Bahamian chefs and mixologists. Explore captivating art installations, interactive workshops, and live performances, all set against the stunning backdrop of Nassau's premier luxury resort. And don't miss an electrifying live performance by global superstar Lenny Kravitz, headlining the festival's welcome party on Friday, October 24th, with a concert experience you won't forget. This is more than a festival, it's a feast for the soul. Tickets and packages are going fast. Visit Bahamar.com to reserve your spot at the Culinary and Arts Festival at Bahamar, where taste and talent take center stage. Bahamar, life spectacular.
In uncertain times, resilience is everything. You to the Financial Services Event of the Year, the 2025 CFAL Pension and Economic Conference. It all happens Thursday, October 16th at 8 a.m. at the Grand Hyatt Bahama Convention Center. Under the theme Resilience in the Face of Global Uncertainty, this